This week on Theater Mode.
What the fuck?
Hacked! Oh, this is the real movie we're making right now? Did he just say calm the F down, shit happens?
Yeah. What the hell was that?
Hey, if you're watching this episode of the podcast, just want to remind you it was broadcast live Monday evening for our sponsors. If you'd like to find out more, click the link below and visit roosterteeth.com/sponsorship for your 30-day free trial. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast.
Got out of
this
that one
week
fast.
Brought to you by I'm Gus.
Oh, I'm Gavin.
I'm Blaine.
I'm Burnie.
And I'm Gus. Here to talk about the podcast.
I'm jealous of your Lego thing you've got going on there on your laptop.
Yeah, you like
Gus
it?
has a cover that's, for the only one side of his laptop, the top part, but it's Lego and it has a Lego Rooster Teeth on it.
When I was at PAX East, I went to a YouTube meetup, and they had a guy there who was just making cases. Like, I walked in and I saw he had a Funhouse one on the wall, and Jeff and I were like, "What the fuck is this? Funhouse over here?" And then he's like, "Oh, Rooster Teeth," and he showed me. He's like, "I can make one for you that has Rooster Teeth." I don't know why I said it in a weird way like that.
Yeah, like he's a vendor in
and,
the Middle East.
And,
or something.
and I was like, "Oh
that?
yeah, sure." And he's like, "What size laptop do you have?" I was like, "Oh, I've got it here. It's a 13-inch MacBook Air." And he's like, "Oh, here." And he made it there while I got drunk.
Did he freeform it, or did he have any reference?
I think he had a pattern. Like, he showed me, like, on his tablet that he had like a pattern for it already pre-made.
You made it while you got drunk.
Yeah,
Such
I was getting
point.
drunk and I was watching him. I was like, yes.
We clean it while you get drunk.
More yellow, please, on the
Fancy?
key.
How long did it take him?
Blaine's gonna fuck it up.
No, that's not true.
I don't know.
Did he glue it?
No,
did
it's
that
not
glue?
legit
No,
Legos.
you can take it off.
You were drunk, so
What do you mean
time
it's
was
not
slightly.
legit Lego.
Time
It
didn't
doesn't-
matter.
He's pulling it apart right now. I told you he's gonna fuck
Blaine,
it up.
what the fuck are you doing?
He's literally picking
He
away
wants
at
to see if
it.
it's
I just
glued
wanted
on.
to test it.
Gonna test it, Gus.
What did your test conclude, Blaine?
I just wanted to see if the pieces can come off and if you could add on to them. And I wanted to see if it was Lego. It's not Lego.
What is
It's
it?
awesome, whoever the guy is. But it's
Was he
Hey,
Mega
guy,
Blocks?
Blaine thinks you're a piece of shit, apparently.
Good
it's not.
Lord.
Well, no, because when you look
The
at the
thing
little
I got
Lego
for
bricks,
free sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
for free?
he saw through your whole fucking ruse of trying to get people free Lego stuff.
Your ruse of trying to give me a free, cool laptop cover failed.
Straight
Blaine
up
Gibson
fucking busted
found
that
you
guy.
out.
Fucking go back to
he's
the...
getting free advertising. Like I don't mind.
It's great to have you, Blaine.
Thank you.
It's always a joy to see you.
Blaine, you're wearing the. I feel like whenever I see a celebrity, right, they wear tight knot jeans and black shoes with a white base.
Yeah.
I guess
the
they
fuck?
don't have.
What?
I think that's what rich
Name
people.
one celebrity in one appearance. I'll look it up. It's
You
not
have
maybe not
very
celebrity, but
specific
Whenever I
knowledge about
see
this.
like rich-looking people in the airport, that's what they got on.
Man,
What's the richest person you've ever seen in person?
that is the creepiest pan up. Ugh. Stop. Quit it.
The richest person. The richest person I've ever seen in person is probably when we bumped into Donald Trump that one time.
Oh, right.
You bumped into Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And by
Gavin.
bump, did you punch him in the face?
Well, no, I didn't really know much about him.
He
apart
was
from
like
that he was a
the
billionaire
apprentice
liar.
Donald Trump back then.
Yeah.
No.
What did you bump
So you're
into him?
laughing at him.
Not Nostradamus' worst prediction come
He was
true,
at the-
Donald Trump.
He was at the Men in Black 3 premiere. Like, he just, like, stood out right in front of us. And we
Yeah.
was like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, for
Donald
Gavin's
Trump.
birthday, I
He
had
went to go
tickets.
see Men in. He went to go see Men in Black 3.
It was in New York. It was an event in New York. I'm
Yeah.
sure he goes to anything and everything there.
So he does have small hands, right? I'm not crazy.
Well, I didn't like ask him to fist me or anything like that,
But it would have been comfortable if you had.
but we did not shake Donald Trump's hand. He went right by us.
Yeah, he didn't even know we were there.
Yeah, we just saw hair, and that's it, and a pretty lady
Hair.
with him. Yeah,
Quotation marks.
I think that's his hair, right? It's just like
Well, he lets people pull on it, so yeah.
If something's genetically created in the lab from your DNA, it's still yours, right? Like, if there's
yeah,
a team of scientists
he's rich
working to
enough they
support
can
it.
sew that to his head. So who do you think is richer, Gus? Because I've seen both these people in person: Donald Trump or Michael Dell.
I would assume Donald Trump.
Really? I would say Michael Dell.
say
What do you
Trump.
think?
I would say
Place your
Trump.
bets. He's looking up
He,
net worth.
he,
I'd
ju-
pick
he just
Dell.
had to rebuy Dell to take it private, so I think he's down a bit.
He had to, or he did
But
because
he
it was a
did.
good opportunity.
Yeah, it was in order to grow. Do you want me to answer? Oh, wait. You take your guess.
Gus's official explanation for that on the financial level is
I just don't think the internet will tell us. I think Donald Trump's full of anus.
He's full of
and
guff?
He's full of old guff and pap, and we don't know how much it's worth. Probably
Well,
just
but based on what Google tells me.
Well, then I'd say Trump.
Disregarding the guff.
the guff. Yeah, I'd
Anus.
say,
You say Donald Trump?
in that case,
What-
Yeah,
Trump.
this
What-
isn't like for science.
Yeah,
This
what-
is just for entertainment value.
What do you think, Blaine?
Oh, I was saying Trump's more rich.
According
Sorry, you caught me like mid-drink.
Who knows words?
According to just a Google search where I type in their name and type net worth, Donald Trump is worth $4 billion US.
Yeah.
And Michael Dell is worth $19.5 billion.
Yeah, Michael Dell's got way more.
Fair play to him.
Yeah, and so but my favorite thing is like that's the richest guy I've ever seen in person. And what was he doing? He was standing at where we went to record the Binaural podcast just last night. Oh. Blaine and I saw, it wasn't last night that I saw him, Blaine. I would have pointed it out if I saw it. But he was standing outside of that place when it was filled and you had to wait for a table. And he was standing there holding his wife's purse in his hand while she was inside. And I go, that's fucking Michael Dell. Why has he got a purse? And then his wife comes out and takes the purse from him. I'm like, dude's got $19 billion and he still has to hold the purse while his wife goes and does whatever.
Gentlemen.
Yeah, gentleman. That's one way.
I
He
don't know
didn't
what
look
he
real
looks like.
gentlemanly. He was had this sour look on his face.
really?
I would never expect him. I can't say the place's name, can I?
Sure, why not?
Do you want me to?
Magnolia Cafe.
Okay, so I would never expect him to see him at Magnolia because Magnolia is just like that's just kind of like a hipstery sort of place, you know?
He was just hanging out
Yeah, that's cool.
and drove like a normal like SUV. If it seems like if you're that rich,
I don't
should-
think you saw Michael Dell.
It was Mike. Listen, it was Michael Dell. I know it was Michael Dell.
Okay.
I also did that thing where I looked at him and he looked back at me, and he probably doesn't get recognized every time he goes out.
Yeah.
But he looked at me and I could tell he was like, that guy knows who I am, and he like kind of like looked away.
He just
Did
threw the
you just
purse.
slowly just.
No, but it was definitely Michael Dell.
Is he a nice guy? What is he like?
Don't know. Just purse match.
Based on just looking at him, watching him hold a purse outside of Magnolia Cafe, do you think he was a nice guy?
I'm
I
just
would
saying
say-
sometimes like really smart guys are a little, like socially they're just like they're in the zone, and they're just like I don't know.
I wouldn't be able to pick him out if you said name Michael Dell.
You could, I bet, right, Gus?
I just saw him. But before that, maybe. I don't know. It had been. I feel like the last time but he looks older in this photo than I remember him looking because I probably don't remember what he looks like.
During the .com
couple
era,
decades.
like Michael Dell was like the Elon Musk of Austin. Like everyone was fascinated by Michael Dell. I know guys that worked at Dell Computers. They graduated from UT. They had a normal bachelor's degree, and they went to work in like I have a buddy that he was an engineering major, and then he went to work at a number of different jobs at Dell. But the main thing he did, I think, for a long period of time was he customized the software that was installed on the computer when you get it. And then they would just like install that. And he was in charge of the systems that would install that on those
The
machines.
stuff that you hate and you want to take off.
No, it was everything like Office and whatever, Windows XP at the time, or it was probably 95 back then, or Windows 98. And so there was a situation where in the mid to late 90s, kind of pre.com, right, Gus? When was the big Dell run?
It was mid-90s.
It was like pre.com, like
Yeah.
right before it. And there was a point in time where the Dell stock split, I think like 15 times.
It was a bunch.
It was just kept splitting and splitting and splitting. And I had one friend who his mom bought some Dell stock
Smart.
at $4 a share, and then it went to $10 a share. And
man.
she sold it, and she threw a big party with all the money that she made from it because she had more than doubled her money.
She was like, dude, I'm getting a Dell.
Then slowly over the course of the next like 3 or 4 years, we calculated what the value of that party was. It over time turned into like a $900,000 party because she sold the stock and had this event. But my buddies, I had several buddies who worked at Dell, and basically they all told the same story, which was just on stock options at that company. Say a guy got a gig there for like $50,000 a year or something like that. They were all working next to each other in these cubicles, but just based on them starting, this guy started one day. He was worth about $8 million on paper because of stock options. The guy in the cubicle next to him started 9 months later and was worth basically his paycheck.
Oh,
And it was crazy. Like everyone was kind of sitting there like not getting fired. That was everyone's goal, was to not get fired so they could, vest their stock options and then cash out.
I think
It was a crazy time.
Everybody who was living in Austin and working in tech at the time wished that they could work at Dell.
Yeah.
I know, like when I moved up and I was working with you at the call center, I was like, man, if I was at Dell, I'd have so much stock. I'd be set. I'd be rich.
Was that the company that like even the janitors were like fucking cashing in?
I think it was Microsoft is the famous story about that, right?
The one I heard, I think, was Google.
I always hear Facebook too. Like the guy who did the mural on the wall took stock instead of taking cash, and he ended up making a mural that was worth $12 million or something like that. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's about, but it's only, going back to what you said about your friend's mother throwing the party. It's like, you don't know if the stock's going to continue to go up or go down. You know,
Oh.
it's worth what it is at the moment.
Super easy to see it in hindsight.
In,
but
in
yeah.
hindsight, you always make the right call.
Oh, you're like, look, I would have bought it there and I would have sold it way the fuck up there. But it's
Everybody would do that.
Yeah. But then when you're in the middle of it, you're like, oh, this shit's going to crash any second, you know? Mm-hmm. I remember there was this stock that I would buy. It was called Covad. And it was a DSL
I remember
company.
that. Yeah.
Remember Covad? And I would buy this stock, Covad. And I'm not working with actual numbers here. You know, the company's probably out of business at this point. But just from memory, I would buy it when it hit $6 a share. And then I would sell it when it hit $8. And it would go back and forth between $6 and $8 a share.
So you just watch it go up and down and just be like, boop,
Yeah.
boop, boop, boop.
Sell it at $8. Take the same amount of money, reinvest it at $6.
What
and then
caused it to fluctuate so?
.com was nuts.
predictably?
I mean, that's like a 33% swing.
Yeah,
on
if you're
like
making 33%
Yeah.
on your money every time, that's crazy.
a week at a time. And I did that like 4 times. I'm like, oh, I fucking have this stock mastered. I've got all this shit. I got it all figured out. And then one day it was 8, and I was like, I should probably sell it. And then I looked again, and it was at 4. And I was like, well, that's weird. The next day it was at 2, and then it was basically gone at that point. Like, it just like, everything kind of hit the wall in the .com era. It was just like, it was absolutely nuts. And I wonder if Covad is still around.
It looks like they've been sold and acquired a few
think he works
times.
for
They're really not
Funhouse.
the same company anymore.
Covad Communications.
Yeah. Looks like they're gone.
Since 1997, Covad has been delivering DSL broadband designed especially for small and mid-sized businesses. Yeah, I love Covad. That they
Sponsored by Covad.
No,
Covad's
not.
communications stock history.
here, let me. Speaking of sponsored,
Look at that.
I do
Fucking
have
solid segue,
I
guys.
do have something to read. Thank you for the acknowledgement.
Nailed it.
We're super happy to have Pizza Hut joining us and help us create a portion of the podcast we like to call the feed.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Whoa.
We didn't get a chance to warn Blaine before the podcast that was going to happen. I'm sorry, Blaine.
I coughed and I saw somebody back there. I was like, the fuck's he doing?
model.
Pizza Hut is going to be joining us with their Retro Bites Arcade once again at RTX, and of course they were with us this past weekend at PAX East. To help us keep everybody updated about it, we created the feed. We're going to be giving out some Pizza Hut swag as well as Pizza Hut gift cards to our listeners and viewers who can answer a trivia question about one of the games that was in the Retro Bites Arcade. This episode's question's a little easier, Bernie.
Got it.
It's not as bad as last time. You
Bring
might
it.
know this.
Bring it.
This episode's trivia question is about Galaga.
Oh, bring it.
What game is Galaga a sequel to? You
Okay.
might know this.
I can't say because
Yeah,
that would
don't say
ruin
it.
the game.
Don't ruin it. But what game
I
is
know it.
Galaga a
I'd be
sequel
getting. What do
to?
I get? A gift card?
You can send us.
I'll tweet right
swag
now.
and a gift card. You can send us your answers by tweeting using the hashtags RTPodcast and hashtag the feed. Normally this is when I would say thank you and the food would go away, but Blaine's getting some. So yeah, Pizza Hut. Huge. They get some of that triple chocolate brownie too. They sponsored the Retro Bites Arcade at PAX East this past weekend, and they're going to of course be back at RTX even bigger
Why is
this
he
year.
fingering all the food?
Just
bring the box over.
This is a nice display.
Oh my God, Blaine.
Blaine's gonna be standing in the middle of the podcast set. Look at him.
There you go.
Look at all the food.
Here, pick one.
It's fine. We all know each other.
Oh
It's
my
not a
God.
party foul.
All right. So
It's not a party
hurry
foul.
up. I'm going to get back.
What are these?
That's a garlic knot, dude.
These are really good.
He says they're really good.
You want a piece of brownie?
I'm okay right
I
now.
will.
Thank you.
I'll take a brownie.
So
about you
thanks to Pizza Hut for sponsoring the
Thank you.
feed. We really appreciate it. And if you tweet us your answer to the trivia question,
So are we
we'll
gonna
pick
get?
we'll pick a couple of winners to send swag and a $25 gift card to, and then we'll send some runner-ups some $25 gift cards.
So last time the pizza party went to a watch group in Dallas Fort Worth.
yes, I'm not sure where it's going this time.
We
but,
need a picture of it this time. That was really cool.
Yeah, I think we're trying to pull a couple of pictures so that we can go ahead and put them on the stream. If we
Tuck
get
and
them
roll,
in time.
intern.
Lot of people are getting the name of the title right in the Twitter feeds. I'm looking at the hashtag RTPodcast.
I do want to.
I'm feeling pretty good about their chances.
Yeah. So speaking of PAX East. Oh wait, I was the only one there. We were just at PAX East. I was just at PAX East this past weekend.
When did you fly?
I flew out there Thursday night and I came back Saturday night.
Oh, you came
Earlier
back
today, I made a journal on the website. Like, Becca does all of our web content, and she had asked me to write a recap of PAX East and and everything I saw. And I thought that maybe it would be more interesting, instead of writing a recap of what I saw, to write a recap of what it's like to go as a Rooster Teeth employee and actually work and set up the booth and all of the work that goes into that.
So you did a journal talking about how hard you work and everything?
About how awesome I am. Basically, how I'm the best person in the world and how I deserve more money and everyone else sucks.
You are pretty good at doing that convention thing.
Yeah.
You don't really do it anymore.
We've done it for a long time, but I thought I really wanted to highlight some of the the things that pop up that people don't think about. Like we had internet there, right? Because we had to run our cash registers via wireless.
Okay.
We took a router, forgot the power adapter.
Yep. And then you're boned.
And then it's like, then we discovered that at 8:30 p.m. It's like I've got 30 minutes to find a router because most stores will close at 9.
Yep.
I've got 30 minutes to get to an electronics store, buy a router. Otherwise, we can't sell anything tomorrow.
But you're at PAX.
What was your solution? I feel like I would have looked in the hotel room, and I bet there was something with the same router, like a power adapter.
That was a gamble, though. If it didn't pay off, then I was screwed.
Yeah.
So I ended up taking a taxi to a Best Buy.
Oh,
Amazon Prime now?
I looked. They don't have that service.
Do a little bit of favor? Anything like that?
No, I looked. They didn't have any service that would deliver it to me. So
I guess Prop
just
1
had to
passed
go.
in Boston, huh? Are they all unionized there? Is that the
Speaking
deal?
of Prop 1, I want to show you
Look at
something.
that fucking softball segue
So-
to Gus right there. See that, Gavin?
We
See what I
have-
did there?
That's great.
Fucking
On a plate.
Professional.
We have this.
Took him like a minute to pick up on it.
We have this election.
Prop 1? Oh, weird. I have...
We have this election coming up in Austin where there's a proposition where they're trying to figure out who's in charge of background checking Uber and Lyft drivers, right? Or the city's going to do it or the companies are going to do it. And I guess early voting started today. The actual election is in a week or two.
Yeah.
So
It's all part of the city of Austin's initiatives to hate every modern business and drive it away.
Yes.
That's essentially what
They
it
don't
is.
want Uber and Lyft.
I checked
Or Airbnb. Don't
my
forget
mail
Airbnb.
today.
No short-term rentals
and
either.
in one day,
Fuck
this
off
is
innovation.
all of the mail I got regarding the election. It's all from the same organization telling me to vote the same way. They sent me 3 fucking things to vote.
What is that thing telling you to do?
This is telling me to vote for Prop 1.
And what is Prop 1 pro?
If you vote for Prop 1, that means the private companies will continue to run their own background checks. If you vote against Prop 1, then the city will run the background checks.
on the drivers.
Yes.
So
will
does that mean they
taxpayers
stay there?
get the bill for background checks? Make your plan to vote for Prop 1. City oversight or city takeover? That's alarming.
it's nice card stock.
Fuck. How much money do they fucking waste doing that?
It's worth it to them. It's obviously an investment because if they have the city regulation, they're going to have big problems. Are the taxi companies, do they have to go through the city for their background checks?
I think so.
I think they do.
You can
I just listen. All I know is
At least they use card. And
I get it. It's dangerous. Whatever. Blah, blah, blah. All I remember is the fact that before Uber and Lyft or anybody else or cars to go showed up in Austin, we were all held hostage by Yellow Cab.
And they suck.
They
fucking suck.
They were a classic monopoly. They did not care.
Yeah.
They absolutely didn't care.
None
you would
of
call
them-
them. They we're not gonna come get you.
I don't know how many times I arranged for a yellow cab to pick me up at a certain time to take me to an airport.
No way.
And it's like, nope, they didn't
Nope.
show up. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. I'm going to miss a flight.
They also, none of them know where they're going. You
Yeah.
say, I want to go here. They're like, where's that? It's like, well, can you use a GPS or a map? I
think
You're a
we're-
cab driver.
We might be generalizing a little bit, but I have noticed that my customer service experience, is nicer with a Lyft or Uber driver than it is with a cab driver.
Well, now when you get in a cab in Austin, all they do is tell you how shitty Uber is the entire time you're in the cab.
Yeah, they fucking do.
They are the best advertisement for Uber that I've ever seen. I would think the cab companies would tell their drivers, shut the fuck up about Uber. Like, it's harder to get an Uber from the airport. So usually when I walk out, I'll take a cab, from the airport. I'll just jump in a cab and go back home if Ashley dropped me off at the airport, but I'm getting back late enough to where I don't want her to come get me. The whole time I'm in the car, every single time. I've taken probably 3 cabs in the last 4 or 5 months. Every single time, nonstop. The driver's telling me how bad Uber is.
You know what? Next time, just call me. I'll come get you.
Will you?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Look at me.
Look at that.
But what if you're doing something?
That's love.
I discovered something. So,
What's he going to be doing? He's Blaine.
I mentioned that, when I needed to get that router earlier, that I took a cab. And it's because I didn't want to wait for an Uber. Like, I walked out of the convention center in Boston. There was a cab right there. It's like, fine, I just jumped in. I ended up taking a cab a couple of times in a similar situation while I was up there. And I guess it's been a while since I've been in a cab, but I never thought to do this before. But you can use Apple Pay now. In every cab I got into while I was in
Really?
Boston, I Apple Paid.
Just a sign?
They just need to get Apple Pay everywhere. They just need to do that. And whatever the Google one is, the bad one. They need to get that everywhere.
What is that one called?
Wallet?
Google Wallet?
Yeah.
Did you see that clip
I'm
someone
just
made?
kidding. I
Of,
know that's an Android joke.
the clip that someone made of all the times you were talking about the coin
Yeah.
from beginning to end.
Why did we start off really positive?
It was very, very excited and optimistic. And then it just descended into a big shit swirl.
Yeah, it's also a conversation that takes place over 14 years while the product's coming out. I mean, what was the time frame on that?
2.5, 3 years, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because people will throw that in our face too of like, look how your opinion changed. It's like, yeah, we actually got to use the product. Amazing how that affects your opinion of something.
Believe it or not, time went on.
Yeah.
Like someone sent me one earlier today. Someone sent me a message on social media about how like in 2013 I talked about how stupid VR is and how nobody wants it, and now it's like all I talk about on the patch every week is just about
Because it's
how
so cool
VR
and amazing.
VR is, yeah. It's getting there.
What's the first one that
definitely
you're
getting
going to pick up on? Because I think, don't you have a Vive already?
Yeah,
Vive?
a Vive, and I've got an order for an Oculus.
I have one coming. How come everybody else got their Vive but me? Mine's shipping in May. You did a great job with that, by the way.
Thanks.
I can't believe you'll have room for a VR. Do you have that at home?
No, I've got it here in my
Right into the
office.
pizza.
There's no space for it. I got to get a bigger office.
Yeah.
So I mean, the reason I got it, and I guess we don't talk about like job changes or anything, but like now I'm kind of overseeing a lot of the VR things, a lot of the VR initiatives.
Yeah,
here
I
at
think we
Rooster
talked about it
Teeth.
last time. You said you weren't doing RTX anymore,
Yeah.
and now you're doing VR stuff.
So that's why I got the Vive early.
This is
and
news
I
to
beat
me.
you.
I didn't know you're not doing
There's
RTX
been
anymore.
emails about this, Blaine.
Who's in charge of RTX? Just off the top of your head.
Feinstein?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. So you know who it is. It's just like, but you're surprised it's not Gus.
Well, you know. she's been doing a crap up job.
Crap up job.
She's really crapped it
She's
up.
doing a good job. Go to good.
Why
go
do
on
you
Feinstein.
hate Bethany?
I do not hate Bethany
Won't talk
that
about
much.
it. She's doing a crap up job, dude. Hey, you're drinking the only beer in that thing that I actually want to drink. Oh, Gus, can you hand me one of these cans here? Yeah.
Way to go, Blaine. Just show up and
I
fuck it
didn't
up.
even.
What is it, a Kurt Vonnegut
Yeah.
beer? What's going on there?
I'll pass it.
Hey, I don't like that. I don't like that
Whoop.
six-pack carrying case.
I hate
do
it.
not like that.
Why? 'Cause they
That's
fall
a
out?
That's a bad improvement.
Because
We've talked about that with
It's gonna
Yeah.
suck balls, isn't it?
Felicia Day and how they
Yep.
suck.
I'd rather kill sea life than be inconvenienced
Dude.
opening a beer.
I had a super bad environmental week because I read some horrible environmental headlines. The first is that the population of tuna is now considered to be 97%
that a country?
I thought you were talking about a country.
population of tuna. Talking about the population of Tuna, Texas.
Tuna.
It's now two dudes.
It's the ocean area right around Turkey.
The overall let me change the way I worded that. The overall tuna population
There you go.
of the world is now 97% below what it was before humans started fishing them.
How do
Like-
they know?
Well, I'm assuming those are estimates. They didn't do a census of all the fish in the ocean before humans started fishing, but they're just estimating from levels that they started at and how much we fished them, and we're fishing at triple the amount that we need, that we're now at like down to like 2.7% of the total population of tuna. Like
blame-
it's like right on the razor's edge of just buy
Couldn't
tuna.
put them extinct though, probably.
What's that?
You couldn't make them extinct.
I bet
It
you
does seem
could.
like it'd be hard to make
Because there'd always be two.
unless we raise the temperature of the ocean and just killed them all
Oh God.
because they're tunas. Is that what you're saying? No.
What does that mean? Because there'd always be two?
Two tunas?
Yeah. Let's just shag and make more.
Then if that's the case, then why have other animals gone extinct?
Well, I feel like you can never get them all because they're fish.
I agree
Like
with that.
two
If they're
two
in the
in
ocean,
height.
you're not
Yeah,
getting them.
But
all.
if there's two in the ocean and they're thousands of miles apart, they're not going to find each other.
Well, I mean, they'd always be too close together. How would you get every single fish out apart from one?
There's sea life that's gone endangered or extinct, right?
That's
Like
the way it
whales?
happens. It's like abundance, endangered, everyone chills out, and they come back. And then sometimes they come back too strong and become a pest, like the red kites.
Do you say? Never mind.
I don't want to make fun of you because you're always so frequently right. But it seems so absurd to me that something would go from endangered, but then there's two of them left, and then they're a pest.
Look, there was a bird of prey. It's called the red kite. There were loads of them.
Mm-hmm.
They were hunted to the brink of extinction. There were only 2 pairs left, I think, in the whole of the country or the world or whatever. And now they're like scavengers, and there's too many, and we're trying to take them out again.
Now they're all fucked up in the brain though, because they just
They eat bacon.
inbred, right?
Well, see, that's the thing is that siblings can actually breed. They just probably shouldn't because there's less genetic variance, and so some diseases can take advantage of that. Like there's something that family would not be immune to. It would destroy all
Yeah.
those things, right? Like hemophilia with the Russian czars. They always had a bunch of inbreeding. But it's like people always say like, oh, if like you have a baby with your cousin or your sister, it's got like 3 eyes and stuff. It's not at all the case.
But it could turn into Joffrey.
It could turn into Joffrey. There you go. Nice reference. Hey, did you watch the first episode of Game of Thrones, season 6?
You know I did.
You
Of
did?
course I did. Yeah.
So
Where?
did you like land the plane and you rush and go do
I
it?
came back Saturday night.
You did?
Yeah.
Did you really?
That's
So
what I said.
I could have asked you to participate in our
He wouldn't.
binaural podcast.
He wouldn't have.
It's a podcast
I
movie.
like the new strategy though of he comes in a day earlier to take the day off after travel because
Yep.
Gus needs those buffer zones.
I do. I've earned it. I worked hard. Did you read my journal?
I should go read your journal. But did you guys hear about like the passenger pigeon going extinct? I'll get back to that in a second. Let me finish my environmental horror story for this week.
Yeah.
First, I read about the tuna that there's 97% less tuna than there used to be. Now we're down to 2.7%. The other thing I read, which was a horrifying bit of environmental news, was that my thing just died on me. Oh, I want to talk about the cholera outbreak too. That's so crazy. The Great Barrier Reef, half of it is now dead or dying.
Oh, I saw
And
that.
the Great Barrier Reef is just going to be dead pretty soon. Just gone.
They can't save it?
Nah, they're trying, but they can't do anything.
What's doing it in?
I didn't get to read the whole article, but if I had to guess, I would guess the change in the either small variances in the temperature of the ocean or just a change in like the alkalinity of the water.
How do you go about saving something like that?
Let me see. I'll read it here.
You
and I'll
build
tell
a
what it
big
is.
tank over it.
You
Don't-
fucking
I don't know.
kill a lot of humans. That's what you do. Which is basically what's going to happen. It's like the Earth is going to go, wow, these fucking humans are really kind of screwing shit up. So it's like the Earth will be fine. We just talk about saving the Earth. Earth's fine.
We're going to save ourselves.
Right. The Earth, what it does is it'll heat up and it'll just make it inhospitable for us, and then we'll all die. And then
It's like when you set the oven to clean, it just kind of boils off the layer of stink that's come off.
I was
and all the
thinking-
grime on the
then you
inside of the
scrape it
oven is
off.
like, save the oven. It's like, well, fine.
The oven's fine.
I always think of like when you're sick and you get a fever.
Yeah.
Your body gets really hot to kill everything else, and then, then
it
it,
works.
all dies, or enough of it dies. and
You
then
shake
you're
it
fine.
off.
Yep.
Climate change is leading the reef to undergo a significant event that threatens its existence, according to Australian ministers. Only 7% of the reef has escaped bleaching, which happens when the water warms and leads the coral to expel the algae that lives inside of it. So it's a temperature change.
So it's
that's
like
doing it.
all of its food busts out.
Yeah, the living parts of it. Like, is coral like the home to?
I have no idea.
Well, I know coral is a living organism, but I don't know. Like, does it eat algae? Maybe that's what it is.
It'd be cool if it was sentient.
What means it's living? It's just got cells that aren't rock.
So let me. Okay.
That's the definition in my biology textbook in high school. The definition of living is it has cells that aren't rock.
When it dies,
My
it's just
laptop is
rock.
living.
And the third piece of environmental news, before we quiz Gavin on what the criteria for life are, it sounds like a good thing at first, but then it's actually a really horrible thing, which is the energy minister in India announced this week that solar energy is now cheaper than coal. And that India is in the process of meeting their goal of doing, I think, 100 gigawatts of power
That's
via solar
bad.
for the country. That's bad.
Because that means that coal is going out. Like, there's so few.
No,
less-
it means that if energy is less of a barrier, it's like it's just more humans that can have everything that they want, and they just need more food and everything else. Like
Bad for overpopulation.
there's a weird thing to solving the energy
Oh.
crisis is that it's one less barrier to humans living longer, which on a short-term basis, great thing. But when we're eating all the fish and the fucking coral reef is dying,
There's only 3% tuna left.
yeah, it's like you can see how like a life on Earth being easy on an energy level is like that actually can contribute to like a lot of other horrible things.
I was thinking it's because coal was becoming less available, and that's why, because it was getting more expensive.
Oh,
and
you're
that's
saying
why.
so the thing that drove it cheaper than coal was the fact that
Coal is
coal is
becoming
getting more
less
expensive?
available,
That's
yeah.
probably the case too.
I have a question for you.
Very
Why
Less
don't,
coal is a good thing though.
why don't you want Indians to live longer?
I want everyone to live longer, except for everybody. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how else to put that. It's like I hope everybody individually lives longer, but
Then what?
I just hope there's less people. That's what it is. I hope we get to the point where, like in
Sound like
Japan and the
Hitler.
U.S., where the population birth rates decline to be less than the sustainability rate.
I think I've read studies that try to map out global population growth, and that most models show, the population never being sustainable above, I want to say like 8 or 9 billion. Like we're close to the maximum sustainable number, and that it will never really
But what's
get
the
above that.
limiting? What caps that at 9 million?
It's just
9
when
billion?
birth rates fall, like Bernie's talking about. Like countries will
Yeah, but what if everyone just keeps shagging? Like, what's stopping it?
math.
laws.
Math.
Yeah.
We run out of carbon. That's it. This is a closed system, right? We're not getting elements from I mean, occasionally a meteor drops in and adds like a little splish splash of something here. But we only have so much carbon on this planet.
It's only so much stuff.
There's only so much stuff.
Yeah, but it's recyclable.
But
It is. It
breathe
is.
it.
all we got to do is look through a telescope and find a carbon planet, and then we grab it, and then we bring it over here.
When do you think shit is going to like legitimately hit the fan? Like we're just totally fucked. No coming back.
I don't know. I can't say. I don't know that we're not at
Give
that
me-
point
give me
now.
your best guess.
Do you think that you're already starting to see the fringes of that? Like when you think about stuff like Superstorm Sandy going up and hitting New York, or you think about Katrina hitting New Orleans. Like, do you think that you're starting to see an increase in the frequency of ecological disasters?
No. I think that there's actually been the same level of disasters in the past. It just might not have been recorded. Like during the Revolutionary War, they went through like basically an ice age. So, I just think that people just kind of glaze over
It was
that
the
fact.
Dust Bowl in the
Dust Bowl?
Yeah.
30s?
I think it's all Earth is always shitting on us.
Specifically, like when I bring up these examples, I'm thinking about warmer ocean temperatures leading to more powerful storms going to places that they typically didn't go to in the past.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
It is crazy though, because it's like weather and meteorology. It does seem like this like grand roll of the dice that like major things happen in terms of human life scales, like things like the Dust Bowl. We went through kind of a minor event here in Texas where we went through 5 years where it was a terrible drought. Our lakes are draining, and I was like, oh, the lakes are never going to come back. They're never going to fill up. And then they're now at Lake Travis is at 105%. I think it was at 38% at its lowest.
Right.
And now it's at 105%. So apparently there were 2 lakes left, Gavin, and they fucked, and they made some new lake.
So you see, it's not a closed system. You can add more.
Yeah.
Add more water.
So it's like it is one of those things, and I remember when we were going through that pretty serious drought, and California is going through one of those right now. They're having huge problems. When we were going through that, I was like, yeah, this is clearly climate change. This is a permanent thing. And I had a buddy who's a lifelong Texan, and he sent me this quote that just basically said, "Texas is a land of perpetual drought interrupted by the occasional flood." And that quote was made like back in the early part of the 1900s. And so it was like...
So nothing's really changed.
It's been like that. You just need some perspective for a long period of time to see those things. Although it's hard to dismiss the fact that we're having the hottest years on record every single year at this point.
I will say, however, to counter, I mean, I agree with
Globally,
that,
the hottest
with
years.
the old statement about Texas, but I think the counter argument or the counterpoint to think about is back then in the early 1900s, they didn't have the dammed lake system that we have now in central Texas in order to try to preserve and maintain that water. Mm-hmm. So now, even with that system trying to preserve as much water as we can, we weren't able to.
An actual dam.
You ever seen photos of like Congress flooded, like up to the Capitol is just like basically water in the lake?
No, really?
Oh yeah, there's like fuck tons of photos of just, flooding in Austin. It's like Colorado River, I guess, or Lady Bird Lake, what do you want to call it?
Oh, the Texas Capitol.
I thought you meant Washington, D.C.
I think,
also.
didn't he say Congress?
Congress Avenue.
Oh, I gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was on DC for
was
some
thinking
time.
Yeah, sorry about that. It should be more
Yeah,
clear.
Austin is, by the way, smack in the middle of Texas. There's no like coastal region anywhere nearby us.
No.
But that storm that came right by us, we were on the western edge of it, and Houston was on the eastern edge. They got fucking hammered by that thing.
Like last weekend?
Yeah, Houston is basically a city at sea level. I mean, it is. They built that city on a swamp.
I love people in Houston are so industrious, right? Like Houston is not a coastal city, and they wanted to be a coastal city, so they built the fucking Houston Ship Channel.
Yeah.
It's like we want to be able to get big ships here, but there's no way to do it. Let's dig a giant 40-mile trench to the ocean so that giant ships can come into the city.
all the way to Galveston. And
Was
we
it
have Houston has a
financially worth
port.
it?
I'm sure it has been, yeah. Now they got like huge oil industry, and
Why is it that the moon doesn't affect a lake?
it probably does.
There's no tide though.
Oh,
It's not big enough,
You
yeah.
just need a lot of it.
I guess.
I watched a moonrise this week. Have you ever seen one?
Have you ever seen the moonrise? I mean, is that a crazy thing to see?
I think so,
like
because
it's-
you never get to really see the moon because it's already risen when
Where
the
did
sun's
you see a
still up.
moonrise?
On the horizon. What do you mean? I mean, where was I?
Where were you?
Oh my god! No, that has to be intentional.
I was like, he was talking about it being up in the sky. What do you mean? Yeah, in San Francisco I saw it. That was the question.
Hey, did you see the giant wizard tower in San Francisco? One that just looks like a wizard hat.
No.
That's pretty funny.
How was your trip to San Francisco? You took a cheeky little vacation.
It was lovely.
Lovely tourney.
Went on the Golden Gate Bridge and all that. Did all that.
I loved your
Went on some
photo
hills.
of the Golden Gate
Yeah.
Bridge.
He walked across. You walked across that thing.
We ran across it.
What does that mean? You ran. You
That means
you
I
jogging?
use my legs slightly faster than walking.
Yeah, but why would you run? Were you doing it
Like
for exercise, or were you
recreation?
just like?
Yeah, we just thought, let's run it.
Trying to get the fuck out of there.
Someone chasing you? Did you go to Alcatraz?
Yeah. Did a little periscope from Alcatraz Island.
Did you go to the Full House area? You know,
What's that?
it's like the Full House, like where it's like all the nice little.
He may have never seen that TV show.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, sorry.
No, I
What's
haven't.
in
Yeah.
Britain? Sorry. Plus, it's a shitty show. I
So you've-
never
Not very good.
got excited. Are you excited about Full House?
It was always dumb. It was always, to me, in my mind, even as a kid, it was like the worst night of television. Remember they branded it as like TGIF?
Yeah.
And it was all like all of those
What was the-
stupid, awful shows.
What was the show that had the animatronic cat that was just the worst
Talking about
technology?
Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
Was that it? You had a black like animatronic cat.
Salem the cat was awesome.
Fucking awful. Fuck, that thing was terrible.
I
was
bought
bad.
it. I mean, I didn't buy it. I did
bought
a
a
fake cat. but-
Animatronic.
No, I didn't purchase the cat.
Oh,
Wait. Oh, you bought? Okay.
he believed it.
Yeah.
No, God, we can't understand each other for
We're lost.
shit today.
Congress.
Let me
What?
let me read this.
No. What do we say no to that?
No, you can't. Okay. I want to remind everyone this episode of the podcast is also brought to you by. Also wanted to mention and bring up our first runner-up, if I could, for the Pizza Hut contest.
Go for it.
It is Austin Tao.
What was
at
the answer
Royal
they gave?
Gamer 0.
Can I not tell you what the sequel?
I'll wait until after I pick my last person.
Oh, okay. So there's still you can
There's
still
two more.
enter.
Yeah.
Speaking of, can I grab pizza right now?
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it. So Blaine and I went out the other day to record that binaural podcast for Game of Thrones, and it was me and Ash and John and Blaine. And Blaine drinks chocolate milk when he goes out. Does that strike you as strange?
Yeah.
No.
Like he just got done with a workout and he's like loading up with chocolate milk.
Oh, it's for fitness? I was like, I just thought you were like a 6-year-old.
Yeah, but even if it's for fitness, does that make sense to you that he would drink chocolate milk for fitness?
Obviously, he knows
Like-
more about fitness than I do, so I'm
that's
not
a
going to
good
question
point.
it. If you're going to eat away from the mic, you just pull the mic closer to you as you take a
Fine.
bite.
He's fine.
What
You
kind
do
of
what you
amateur
do.
hour bullshit is this?
Yeah. So let me ask you a question, guys. Somebody we did an Amazing Race podcast. We recorded one today. It'll air, Ash, it'll air Thursday or Friday? Thursday. And one of the questions we got on the Amazing Race podcast was, what are some other teams at Rooster Teeth that you would like to see run the race? And so we went through a lot of people. We didn't say, I don't think we said on the podcast, we thought you and Esther would make a great team.
I think, of course.
But we talked about Gavin and Michael, that they would just they would be incredibly entertaining, but that they would be out by like the third leg and they'd be just screaming at each other. Well, Michael would be screaming at Gavin the whole time. And then we said you and Jeff would challenge the notion that male teams are athletically superior to all the other teams. Also, we wondered, could you go 30 days without booze?
That's a good question.
Oh,
I
you
did
could do it.
14 recently, and that
would
was
that
hard.
would that affect you on a physical level at this point?
I did 14. I think I could make 30.
You think you can make 30? Did it physically affect you to do 14? Was that a fun 2 weeks?
I wasn't sick or anything. I didn't have like withdrawal,
You
but
didn't have what do they call them, DTs
the
or whatever?
shakes. No, I didn't have any of that. That was good. I'm good. I'm still young. I'm still hip.
And then we thought
Could I take a flask with me?
No.
That'd be the hard part, like having to try to talk to people and not be
So,
drunk.
yeah, I'd be fine to not
Right,
go
you
with
can't
alcohol.
you wouldn't be able to take booze with you, right, Ash? You can buy it.
Oh,
Yeah.
But you have to spend your money on it.
Your leg money.
yeah. I'm good.
I could go 30 days without alcohol. I could bring alcohol though, right?
I'm just saying. Like I'm
long
thinking
as I
about.
can bring a
I'm thinking
flask.
about having to talk to people. It's making me want to take a drink now.
You'd go into businesses with like hand sanitizer and be like,
Anyway, so not to tease or anything, but you will have to watch the Amazing Race podcast that we recorded to find out who we thought would make the best team for the Amazing Race. Besides, of course, Ashley and me. Which, by the way, we're down to the last 3 episodes of that show, and we're still
gotta
going
say,
strong.
I'm impressed.
Thanks, brother.
I did not have faith in you guys.
Yeah.
Early on.
What did you think we were going to go out? First week?
No. I didn't think first week. I thought, best case scenario in my head was maybe by week 4.
Yeah.
Is
Wow.
what I thought would be good. And you have really,
That was your best case?
Yeah.
It's really
really
crazy
made
to
it.
see those promos, and it's like, it's like just 5 teams now that are in it, and that's it. It's just like every week.
Did you
now.
save all of your funniest stuff for the last few weeks so you knew they'd probably air it?
I think a lot more of our personalities coming out as we got further into the race. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think-
Say the interesting thing is as the teams whittle down, every week you get more and more screen time.
Right.
Because there's less people to cut to.
And I think Ashley and I this time we were like the jokers of this last episode, But we spoiler, we came in second. That's our 4th second in a row that we've gotten. So
I thought it was going to be a bigger deal about you guys knowing that Kurt and Brody had used their express pass because they kind of played it up a bit
yes,
early in that episode, and then
we had that information.
yeah, and then it seemed like it kind of went away partway through the episode.
Well, tune in this week. Who knows?
Oh.
It's a crazy week.
Okay.
The preview shows that we are staying in Bali for another episode, another leg.
That location looked beautiful. Where the temple, where you had to
Oh,
take
that was unbelievable.
The fruit to one
Tanalot.
group, and then the snake to the other. I was like, that. It looked unreal. It looked out of this world.
And we slept out there. It started a really interesting experience with that, where we left the Bali airport, ran out, jumped in cabs, and then it was a 40-minute ride out to Tanalot. And then we had to pull those little numbers off of the hours of operation board. Ashley and I got third place, so we were in the second group with Tyler and Corey. And then we slept outside under like an outdoor pavilion that night. And while we were there, these two locals walked up, and they were Rooster Teeth fans. And so they knew we were on it by that point, so they just waited at the airport all day. When they saw us run by, they just followed us out to Tanalot, and we took photos together. I actually have like a selfie of them. I don't have it here, but I'll post it on Twitter.
Weird. So, like, did they get in a car or a cab, and they were like, follow that cab?
I guess so. Yeah.
What cab driver does that?
But I don't know. It's probably the dream come true for a cab driver. Somebody jumps
Like
in
in a movie.
Follow that cab. Follow that car. So that was
Follow
pretty
that
cool.
Uber.
That was pretty cool.
Oh, dude. So,
Dude.
They were nice guys.
I was on the way to San Francisco. Had a go around.
Did you?
Did you?
Yeah.
that
It
mean?
was.
What'd you fly?
I flew Delta.
Oh, really?
It was the earliest I've ever seen it happen. Like usually when I think of a go around, I think, well, they were like approaching the runway or like on the runway even.
Did you fly Delta to see yourself in the safety video?
No.
Did you get free flights on Delta because of that?
I saw you tweet about it.
That was a free flight.
Oh,
The
sorry.
Is that what, they gave you a free flight? What? So are you like an employee now of Delta that gets like that benefit of free flights?
You want some flights? Because I can't get them for you.
Okay.
We were coming in. We were on our approach, descending,
That's
landing.
a good deal.
Landing gear wasn't out, right? And then all of a sudden, the plane violently turned like over 45 degrees to the right.
What?
Whoa.
And like stuff was flying out of the backs of seats.
Whoa.
Like with that much force. And like the flight attendant's ponytail was like, whew, and then it flew back. And then we like braked in the air. Like, I've never been flung forward in my seat in the air. Like, I've had it on the runway and they
Right.
brake hard, but I guess they just like down throttled really hard. And then we sped up again and we just went around. But we were really high, and they just said that we like hit the wake of a massive jet.
Yes,
and
it sounds like you got too close.
yeah, and we just missed it, but miles back. So we just went all the way around again and came
You're not
back.
advertising
So
for
they
them
did.
very well.
They did tell you, like, what it was that caused that, and they said it was
The flight attendant, she didn't announce it, but she was like, we were up in the front, so we're like, have you ever had that before?
What do they call that?
That's
Trail, some kind of like chemtrail.
the wake?
but Just
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like the air is thinner in the wake of a jet.
Yeah, it basically just like, it felt like it just knocked the plane over, and then
Yeah.
the pilot like fought it back.
It almost
And it was terrifying.
the way you're describing it almost sounds like maybe an alarm went off for a collision alarm, because planes they move in a very specific direction. I don't know what it is, but I think it's like down and to the right or up and to the right.
It's down to the right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
when
talked
they-
about this recently.
Yeah, so it's like they
But-
all move in the same direction, so they move away from each other.
So that was all scary. The turn was
Oh.
scary. The braking was scary. And the accelerating again was scary. The scariest part of all was being in first class, being able to hear the cockpit alarms.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
That was scary.
What'd
'Cause
you hear?
Just beeps and like whoop, whoop, beeps. and
You're like,
no, I didn't hear any of that. Like the pilots were just solid, didn't say anything, but you could hear everything
Yeah.
the cockpit was saying.
Here's the
And
alarm you never
I
want
was
to
just
hear
like,
come out of a cockpit is the female voice saying,
pull up.
pull up. Yeah, that
Oh,
is
shit.
always like, that is a horror story. Yeah. 'Cause that's usually like a plane's in bad trouble and they're like, I'm pulling up, lady. Come on. Really, that's scary. So you got a free first class flight. Do you have a couple of these?
Nope.
So this is why you took your vacation with Turney. You guys said we got free flights. I'm assuming from your job. You don't want to talk about it?
No, I could talk about it. They gave because I was in the safety video. We all tweeted it, and my tweet got the most retweets. They were like, "Here's two first class flights within the US."
Well, that's
Damn.
pretty fucking
It was
dope.
awesome. And the only
I
reason
would
we
have
went,
tweeted about it if you let me know.
the only reason we went is because I had to use those tickets within the year, and I was coming up on that, so I was like, let's go somewhere.
Hey,
So-
I do want to say something while we're on the subject of tweeting, because we don't normally do this, but whenever we tweet the Amazing Race, we use the hashtag Amazing Race so that people can follow along as we tweet, or they can mute the hashtag if they don't want spoilers, or if they just don't want to fucking hear about it. Tyler and Corey, Tyler has like 5 billion Twitter followers. Every week, they don't tweet the Amazing Race, they tweet their own team name, and that's it. They tweet Team Tyler and Corey. And so I just learned this. So they've been trending every week as themselves. So this week, Ashley and I we're gonna tweet with the hashtag Burnie and Ashley. And I would never normally ask this, but this is to defeat Tyler Oakley in a hashtag contest. I'm gonna ask people to tweet Burnie and Ashley.
I'm gonna help you out.
You gonna help me?
I'm gonna help you out.
I'll tweet.
Well, that's nice. Gavin, are you gonna help?
Do you think I won't?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just making a joke that yours is the one that matters more than the other.
Oh shit!
Fuck.
I'm gonna tweet Ashley and Burnie. I'm gonna flip
No,
it.
don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up.
Can I tweet hashtag Brittany and the other model?
Dude, all I have to say is when we got in the gold
Literally as
bikinis,
that, the other model.
when we got in the gold bikinis one, I knew like every dude who watches that show was like, they should have fucking helped those models at that
Where's
roadblock.
Brittany all the
God damn it! So when you were on your flight and your instructional video came up, was your reaction like looking around the plane, like, does anybody recognize?
No,
me?
I was posing for the camera because I'd
He took
actually
a
never
selfie
seen
of
it.
himself.
So did anybody
Meg
like?
was taking a picture of me.
Did anybody like? Was there like a guy like next to you and he's just watching the video and he looked over? And
No, I assume nobody watches those, right?
I fall
Yeah,
asleep
that's a
during
good point. That's a really good point. You're the dude who we ignore when
Yeah.
he comes on. The only lady I know is the lady who does the American one. She looks like she might be Hawaiian. Do you know the lady I'm talking about? You don't fly American anymore.
Not typically, no.
Yeah. She looks like there's one of their senior flight attendants, and she's awesome. She's got like this like super pristine, clear voice.
There's this lady in the Qantas one. It's like, oh,
It's because she sounds
so
Australian.
hot. Yeah.
Who has the best safety videos? Aside from Delta, obviously, because they included Gavin and other people from the internet.
People
which is
would-
actually really cool. I love when traditional companies do stuff like that.
Air New Zealand.
Air New Zealand by far has
By
the best.
far, that is like no contest.
Because they do the Hobbit stuff.
Well, even
everything.
Before they did the Hobbit one, they did an entirely naked flight crew one
Yep. What? With body paint?
Whoa.
with body paint to look like their
Look at that.
uniforms.
Yeah.
I'd pay attention to that.
Exactly.
Virgin does not have the best one because they do like a fucking music video, which makes me want to like look away. Like I want to like disobey the rules to the airplane because that
Seatbelts
fucking
off.
music. Yeah.
Also, Air New Zealand did a great Richard Simmons one, too.
I think I've seen that one.
Oh, I fucking loved it. I just loved it.
British Airways one does a really boring one.
I read
It's a flash animation.
I read a really weird article about Richard Simmons about how
Just get RTA to do
no
it.
one has seen him. Like, his personal friends haven't seen him in years.
Is it because he cries all the time?
It's like his housekeeper and his manager are like, this is all allegedly, there's a story I read about it, where they're like controlling his life and who has access to him or doesn't.
Weird.
Like a friend saw him and like directly asked him, Richard, do you need help? Are you in prison here? And he said, yes. And then but nobody can like get to him.
Didn't he do like a Geico commercial
he
fairly
was like-
recently? or
I'm gonna look
something?
it up. I'm gonna look up
They
this
shoot it in
thing.
his house.
Maybe.
And of course, then the people responding are like, either these people are idiots. He's perfectly fine. He's happy. He just is enjoying his retirement.
While you're looking that up, I want to say that the second runner-up for our feed contest, for the contest with the feed, is Austin Sherwood, at Austin Sherwood 0.
Last guy called Austin?
You are runner-up number 2, huh?
What was the name of the first guy?
What was the name of the first guy? I'll have it right here. It was also Austin.
All right, if your name's Austin, you're in it for a good shot.
That's
for-
a total coincidence. that is not intentional. I randomly pick one using the hashtags.
Good memory. What you got there? What was that?
This is a Lego cover.
No.
This?
No, in front of that.
Dude, you're pointing at a table with like 5 things on it.
Actually, what is that? But first, what is the thing that you're...
iPad?
No, the koozie?
Oh, the Yeti cooler for my beer. The
That's
thing
pretty
I've been
cool.
drinking out of for the past fucking hour?
Yeah. Hey, what's that? The thing
What?
in your left hand.
Stop pointing at things.
The left hand. I'm
I thought
being
you were,
specific.
honestly, I thought you were trying to segue to the flowers.
Oh, no. But what is that?
I do have to read something about them, but it's a bottle opener. You open the bottle, and then
launch
there's
it?
a magnet that holds it, and then you push the button and it shoots it.
Hey.
You wanna try it out?
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna read this.
I'm gonna read this real quick first.
go for it.
So the
That's
New York
lethal,
Daily
by the way.
News talks about the haunted twilight of Richard Simmons is the name of the article. And this is the publication date is March 12, 2016. 2 years ago, the flamboyant fitness guru abruptly disappeared from public life. Now, his closest friends, banished from his inner circle, have grown increasingly concerned. They worry that the pop culture icon is being held against his will inside his Hollywood Hills mansion, with one suggesting more sinister notions are at play. And I'm sure, this being the New York Daily News, I'm sure there will be many people who tell me how that is not a reliable source. Nonetheless, it's an interesting article, and it's about Richard Simmons. So I just thought it was like, I mean,
That is interesting.
I just like I could see how like somebody could like take advantage of someone as they get older too, and it's just like that concerns me.
Shit. Richard Simmons, New York Daily News.
What are you doing?
That's making me think about something.
You want trapped in your house?
I know what I'm
That's
saying.
your dream come true.
People are currently tweeting Team Burnie and Ashley.
Don't do it now.
You may want to qualify.
Don't do it now. Don't do it now.
Apparently, there's a lot of dumb people.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant. No. I wasn't clear. You people, listen. You people who are tweeting right now, you are God's people. I love you. That's a great idea. Get the practice in while you can. I meant during the episode. So, what? Oh shit.
This is embarrassing.
So is hashtag Burnie and Ashley.
Okay, look. Let's do this over.
There's
again.
like 40 hashtags right now.
This is why Tyler Oakley's so good at
Can we
this.
get a graphic?
This is why Tyler Oakley's so good at this and trends every week, is because he knows what he's fucking doing. So we're just gonna hashtag Burnie and Ashley, but we're gonna do it during the show. This was just a fake dry run, and that is the East Coast at 8 p.m. East Coast, 7 p.m. Central. Ashley and I will be on this live tweet on Twitter this week during that broadcast. Okay, Ash? So that's when we'll do it.
And if they follow you on Twitter, they'll see when you start.
And I'll be hashtagging
That's when they should start.
Burnie and Ashley. Forget anything else I said. Burnie and Ashley. That's what we're doing.
Hashtag
all spelled out.
Burnie
A-N-D.
There it is.
Oh, that's it. You got it. Burnie and Ashley.
Thank you for the
Do
graphic.
we need to capitalize?
It is
No,
capitalized.
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Like, that's fine. So let me read this before we get to your thing.
So everybody get ready.
All right.
War.
Want to remind everyone, this episode of the podcast is also brought to you by...
Do elephants have nipples?
I would assume so. They're mammals.
Mammals.
So a baby elephant can actually chew on a nipple without its, like, or does it use its trunk?
I assume it doesn't use its trunk.
Trunks the nose.
Yeah, but you know sometimes they suck up water from a pond or something. And
Oh, and then
put it
they-
in their mouth.
And then
I've never seen a breastfeeding elephant.
looking this
I'm
up.
just wondering how it works.
I got it right here for you.
So Simmons went on record as saying he is not being held against his will.
Oh, he actually said it outright.
He called the Today Show and he said, I just sort of wanted to be a little bit of a loner for a little while.
Look at that image.
I can
What?
relate to that.
What is that? Is that a nipple?
It's an elephant nipple.
That's
tasty.
sizable. That's awesome.
That looks like my scrotum.
Do you have bumps on your scrotum like that, Blaine?
You know,
I'm not worried about what your scrotum
Skin
looks like.
folds?
I'm wondering what the bottom of like your legs look like, if that's the case. Because that's like, look at that skin and everything. That looks like an enemy you'd fight in Dark Souls.
or it looks like
That's horrifying.
they call it an emergence hole.
It
from
looks like
Gears of
this
War.
week's episode of Game of Thrones.
Oh, that was a bad time.
You guys are ageist.
So
That's fine.
so Richard Simmons is good. Did he say that with a gun to his head? Was this like a live
no,
public event?
called in.
Did it have the gun
Called
emoji?
in?
Yeah.
I call bullshit.
Just wanted to be alone for a little. Sorry, we go for the quote. I just sort of wanted to be a little bit of a loner for a little while, Simmons said. You know, I had hurt my knee. I lost my thing. I had hurt my knee, and I had some problems with it. And then the other knee started giving me trouble because I've taught like thousands and thousands of classes. And you know, right now I just want to sort of take care of me. And he called the allegations about his housekeeper ridiculous. Said they've been together for 30 years. They're like a married couple. So he went on record as saying, BS, fuck off Daily News. So, and that was in March. Both of those things happened. I just, it just goes to show. You always read the story. You never read the retraction of the follow-up. You
Yep,
know what I
that's
mean?
true.
It's you don't realize like that big story that goes viral. There might be a total correction that comes the next day. Nobody fucking hears that. Always the case. I didn't hear that Richard Simmons had made a statement, but I'm glad I brought it up because now I don't have to worry about Richard Simmons anymore.
Did you ever watch that? And I'm not trying to get into this whole thing, but the Loose Change documentary on 9/11.
Yeah.
So there
That is not Alex Jones, is it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
So there's a bit where apparently a guy was able to get signal on the plane and then call his mom. And then they went into this whole investigation about how there was like this government thing where they were researching like voice mimicking technology. And when he called his mom, he was like, hey, this is Blaine Gibson. Like he said his full name. And they like went into all this whole thing and they were listening to the conversation. It was like really weird.
Well, I mean, you'd probably
Where
sound
did
weird.
that story go?
Where did that come from?
Well,
What is-
because like I bet Richard Simmons, might have been voice.
Government was
No, I don't know. I thought it was related.
I'm so sorry,
Fuck.
audience. I thought Blaine would be good. I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on here.
Maybe he had a gun to his head.
But wouldn't you sound different if you were on a plane that was hijacked?
I don't think I would say I'm Blaine Gibson, mom. Yeah.
Let me sum up Blaine's story in just one sentence. Richard Simmons' cell phone 9/11. That's it. That was the whole fucking story.
Wake up, sheeple! Wake up!
Who would have
I
thought?
can't hear, it's too
Who would
loud.
have thought that Richard Simmons, such a nice man, caused 9/11 with his cell phone call to his mother? I would
Allegedly.
never imagine that.
So you were talking about the New York Daily News, right?
Kind
And,
of. I was talking about Richard Simmons.
And I saw a video earlier today on YouTube that was posted by the New York Post back in 2011, and it was a video titled "Urban Gold Miner." And it's about this dude who walks around the Diamond District in New York, and he just like digs up the mud and the stuff that gets stuck between sidewalks.
Yeah, like
and
sidewalk
on
cracks.
grates and cracks. And he just digs it up, and he finds gems, diamonds, gold. And so he like collects all of this mud. Then he takes it back to his apartment and he pans it like a prospector.
Like a prospector. He's an urban prospector.
He pans it and then like sifts all of the gold out of it. And then it's like, oh look, here's all the gold I found this week. Here's a diamond I found. And
So he's making buns off this? Like
yeah,
good
he said he made like a couple $1,000 a month.
My dad is a football coach, and we used to go to the school in Rockwall, Texas, and they had this giant gymnasium, and they had like one of these big pits full of these like foam cubes that the gymnasts could practice on, and they can fall in and wouldn't hurt them or anything like that. So when I was a kid up there, I dug to the bottom of the cube, and this thing was like probably like 10 feet deep. Got all the way to the bottom, and there was like watches, rings, money, like all sorts of shit at the bottom of it. So,
So you just got to dive to the bottom?
yeah.
Children.
Dead kids.
Yeah, I guess like a ball pit would be similar.
Yeah.
No, you find a lot of urine down there. I bet.
Urine.
Oh, God.
Come.
In a ball pit?
Gavin, really? Who's coming in a
Look.
ball pit?
I mean, someone's done it.
In a ball
Maybe.
pit? That's not sexual at all. That does not arouse me.
Maybe
No.
not for you.
Maybe
What was
Gavin.
that? What's that convention?
DashCon.
Oh, what's it called? DashCon.
DashCon.
We going?
Yeah, let's go.
I don't think they had it
Blaine and I
again.
still
They
want to go to
didn't have it
DashCon.
Yeah, you were supposed to do the-
Nobody's had it since. By the way, did you see your favorite award show, which is sitting right next to you on the table there? The Podcast Awards now has a GoFundMe account.
I saw that.
Yeah, that's a little rough.
Oh,
That's a little rough.
we should probably just put these away.
What are you talking about? They're going to be collector's items soon.
I think they're trying to raise $25,000.
I think that is correct.
And they've raised, in 30 days, they've raised $1,200.
Yeah, but what's in it for anyone else?
Well, just charge an entry fee for the goddamn podcast.
They do now.
They do? Okay, there you go.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's rough.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
Is the podcast dying as a format?
No, I just think that, well, we're very happy with our awards. Let's say that. Very happy with our awards. But so go help the Podcast Awards and donate, $1 or $2 and help them out.
So we
'Cause
can win
That'll
again.
apparently move the needle.
So in every city, do you think there's one of these gold digger curb guys?
Well, I think it might be a special case scenario in like for this instance, because he says he specifically targets the Diamond District because that's like people are are more likely to have loose stones that they're going to take somewhere to sell, or they're carrying loose stones out of a place and they're willing to drop, or they might drop it. Or if there's like a
crazy.
jeweler who's working all day on jewelry, maybe he has gold dust on him or on the bottom of his shoes and it gets stuck outside.
This guy's got to look fucking crazy. Like digging up on the
It looks
streets.
gross. Like you think about
Yeah.
being on the sidewalk in New York, he's got like a little, tool that he uses to like scrape out all of the mud
so
and putting it into a
impacted.
cup and just like carrying around like your mud cup.
I'd like to imagine that the guy dresses like an old-timey prospector. He's got a pitchfork and everything. And he's like, all right,
Prospectors carry pitchforks.
I mean, are you even legally allowed to do
Don't
that?
they? Yeah, they do.
What is the prospector doing with the pitchfork?
What is a pitchfork,
Is he
Blaine?
baling hay out there? What's he doing with the pitchfork?
Oh, fuck. The
A pickaxe.
pickaxe. I got the first
I
two
gotcha.
letters right.
I gotcha. I would have let it go. Gus wanted to talk about it. I thought
I just
I
pictured
was with
a
you.
prospector with his hat going yeehaw and then having like a pitchfork. I was like, it doesn't make sense.
It's fucking the worst 49er in the world. He's up there with a fucking pitchfork.
Bill, we keep telling you, not the pitchfork.
This dude that just
The
digs 4
pickaxe.
small holes all the time. Who is this fucker? So I need something to work on, Gus. I need a set of guidelines, because one thing that happens to me after the podcast, I get on Twitter after the podcast. Usually,
Do you read the hashtag after?
it's usually though during the week, like Wednesday when the podcast hits the public. And there's a lot of people that listen to the podcast, and we talk about a lot of things, and we have, a decent batting average, but still we miss sometimes on like facts and things like that. The problem is people correct us on every single thing we say. And it's not everybody, obviously,
Yeah.
but out of the entire podcast, there's always a handful of people constantly correcting me. Not the same people, of course, but like this like constant information that I'm incorrect. And I'm like, oh shit, whenever I hear someone tells me that I'm incorrect on Twitter, I always go look it up. And then I find out most of the time that I'm correct. It's like, but then the person's like, this week what happened was, this was a tweet I made. I said, HBO Now is now available for the Xbox One. It just came available this week. I thought people would want to know about that for Game of Thrones, because they can watch HBO Now on their Xbox. That's how I watched it. Guy comes back to me and goes, no, it's been out for over a year. And I'm like, what? I just read an article that was this week, so I went and looked up the article.
He's still on HBO Go.
Yes.
And I sent it to him, and he's like, nope, I've been using that for a year to watch all my HBO stuff. And then finally he came back and he goes, oh, I mixed up. Sorry, it was HBO Go versus HBO Now. But it's like, and that's a blameless thing. I mean, the guy's like, I thought you were talking about HBO Go. You were talking about HBO Now. No big. The problem is that I always find myself like getting involved with these conversations and looking this shit up. And it's like, should I just ignore that completely? Or should I say like, I'm only going to look stuff up if like 4 or 5 people tell me that I'm wrong? Or am I encouraging more people to tell me that I'm wrong all the time? People tell us we're wrong all the
Just
fucking time.
imagine you're always
it.
right. Just don't ever be wrong.
That's what you guys do, right? You guys don't read this stuff or you don't care.
No, I mean, I'll glance through it. I just
care.
don't care enough to actually look it up.
But like when I go to send a email and I'm going to send a link, or like if I'm going to tweet a YouTube link, I will copy the link, then I'll open a browser,
Double check it.
paste the link to make sure I'm not pasting anything that's wrong.
I'll even open a private browser window to paste it in to make sure I'm not logged into anything that gives me special access to watch it.
And I double check that stuff, and it's like most people just don't bother. They just don't check anything at all. So somebody came at me about the traveling gnome this week, where I said that the Travelocity traveling gnome and the Half-Life one is based on an old urban legend or a prank that people used to do before the internet, where they would steal people's garden gnomes, take them on holiday, and then send the person Polaroids of their garden gnome on vacation. That's where all that started.
That's fucking awesome.
Somebody came back to me and goes, no, it's the movie Amelie. That was the first time. The movie Amelie. I literally just go to Wikipedia, look up traveling gnome, comes up, I send it to the person. They're like, oh, that's cool. I thought it was Amelie. It's like, yeah, it's just like.
But that's not down to you to have to just let it go. Just let it happen.
But they're correcting me. They're like, no,
But
no,
you know you're right.
Yeah, I know, but it's like.
But you were right.
But I could be wrong because there's a lot of times we're wrong about stuff. And I'm like, oh shit, did I tell people the wrong answer? I gotta correct that. And so I go look it up. It's like, nope, I'm fine. I don't know.
It's frustrating.
I need a guideline. I don't know what it is. All I'm saying
dude.
is, if you're gonna tell me I'm wrong, that's fine because we're wrong about a lot of stuff. Just
Be
do
right.
a Google check. That's it. Just do a Google check.
Whenever there's Star Wars news,
Even if your brother or your fucking third grade teacher told you this information so you know it's true, check Google because your third grade teacher, she's a fucking cunt. Okay? All right. Sorry, Blaine, go ahead.
I was gonna say sometimes the No will do Star Wars stories whenever big Star Wars news, and they'll come and grab me because I'm like the resident Star Wars guy, and I almost don't want to do them anymore.
Just use Google.
Because every time I do a read, of all the information and knowledge that I pour into that read, there's one bit that I might get wrong or slightly skew, and everybody will fucking jump on me for that, and they'll be like, he's not a real Star Wars fan.
Well, you only have to say Yavin once instead of Yavin.
Who fucking cares? It's
A Star Wars fan would care.
But it's like that's how I've read it, and that's how I've seen it in the media for always. And
Yavin.
I don't
instead of Yavin.
I wouldn't correct somebody on pronunciation if I said the wrong planet.
But that's the kind of thing you should be corrected on. Because we do make mistakes. I'm not saying we don't make mistakes. We make mistakes, and we should be called on those. I just want people to check. They have Google. We're talking off the top of our heads for an hour and a half here. They have Google. Just check it. You're right there.
The correct planet.
But if you called him Luke Skywalker, you would be if you saw someone call that, you'd be annoyed, wouldn't you? You'd be
Burnie
like, idiot.
almost spit take. It was so close. You almost spit.
You might have got me there.
That was the Yavin thing. That's what you were getting at, right? For that?
Yeah.
Dude,
But
speaking
that's
of
an example where you were wrong.
speaking of pricks on the internet,
Go
people who are really into musical instruments can be pricks. I put up a video hitting a drum. It was a slow-mo, hitting a drum with powder paint, made a cymbal. And so many of the comments are from musicians who are like,
Get it wrong.
the cymbal's upside down, geniuses. And it's like, I mean, we weren't trying to play a show. I put the cymbal that way because it has a lip that held the paint.
Right.
Like, do you not see what I'm doing there? I didn't play the drum correctly either, I'm sure. I was like, what do you think I'm trying to do
It would
there?
probably look terrible if you put it the right way. It would
Oh
just
my
all
God.
slide right off.
Yeah.
So many comments, you wouldn't believe it. They were just like, nah, I really got
At some point, they're trolling you, right? At some point, they know.
Dude.
And they're
people
just
get
like,
really into their equipment. And like if they're deep into a genre and then there's 2 idiots online who don't know what they're doing, they'll just be all over you.
yeah, but you, like you said, you weren't playing a show.
No.
You weren't looking for the optimal sound or anything.
Yeah, look at any video. I've never used, a microwave correctly. I've always blown them up. What do you want from
You
me?
don't know how to use the CD, right? You fucking shattered that
Shattered
thing.
the thing.
Don't put a CD in the microwave, dummy. God damn it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, one more thing to read here. I want to remind everyone this episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast is also brought to you by.
I'm also staring down one of those buffalo wings over there. I want it.
Go get it.
Did you not eat before this?
I didn't.
I ate several times today.
Last week after the podcast, we destroyed those wings
we had
because they took the food away. We weren't like Blaine. We didn't go chasing it.
so we do lunch for all the employees on Monday, and today was like a scene out of Oliver Twist.
What happened?
Somehow the people who went, it's 200 people that work here now, which you got to be kidding me.
Do you think we could be lying? Like to the do you think the audience believes that?
That there's 200 people that work
It is
here?
not actually. It's not 200. It's 197.
Okay.
So those three assholes that didn't show up for work today made us liars. But so we had this. It was some kind of curry today. Did you have it? Anybody else have it today?
I'll tell you about it later.
It was pita. Yeah, really? It was pita bread and curry. But like by the time we got 3/4 of the way through, everyone had just eaten all the meat out of it, and so it was just like curry sauce. Some people were taking curry sauce and putting it on pitas and eating that.
Oh, man.
And it was just like this really sad scene. It was a really sad
chicken
scene.
korma and chicken tikka masala.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds good.
I don't eat.
really
I
good.
don't eat. Whenever Rooster Teeth feeds us, I don't eat it. I just
Yeah,
go
I've
to
never had
Chipotle.
it either.
It was
It's
so
the
good.
fucking line is ridiculous.
I had
so
never
big.
seen that line because normally, we have our management meeting. Right
Yeah, you
before
get
that.
to pass
So
it.
we eat first because we have to go run to our meeting.
How do you feel about that?
I feel bad about it now.
Yeah.
Like
What,
the other
push
day,
into
was
the
it
front?
last week? I had forgotten something I needed for the meeting in my office, so I had to run back, and I came back past the line, and it went from where they set up the tables all the way back almost to my office.
Wow.
And I was like, holy fuck.
That's like 50 yards or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's
maybe
just not
it's
worth it.
just so many people.
It's a lot of people.
I
And
felt like a huge piece of shit.
needs to be
did
like
you jump the line?
We're right because
Yeah.
I never saw the line
Yeah.
before.
It should be wrapped into tinfoil and just like flung out.
It is a free lunch, though. I mean, you don't have to.
No,
There's
I
no
mean,
such
I
thing
don't-
as
I've
a free
never had
lunch.
it.
What does that mean?
It's a quote. It's a famous quote.
Well, we did pay for the lunch. I mean,
Someone paid for it.
somebody paid for the lunch. But the lunch today was just like, it was so sad watching those. And I was one of those people eating, like, I had a pita and I had a little bit of tikka masala sauce or whatever it's called on there. And I don't typically eat Indian food traditionally. It's like the last cuisine that I tried. Like, what for you guys, what's the last thing you tried?
Indian
like,
food.
Is Indian food, right?
Yeah.
Sushi.
Sushi was the last one for you?
Love it.
Might be Indian food.
I still haven't eaten Ethiopian food, I don't think.
Oh, Ethiopian food's good.
I've heard it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
There's
Indian
a place
food
not
is-
too far from here, right off of 35, like 35 and 32nd or so.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Is there am I a food racist?
Go on.
I love Indian people. I hate that food. Am I a food racist?
Yeah, for humor purposes, yes. No, I don't think so, though.
Okay.
Do you think
You have a taste.
Do you think burgers are the supreme food?
No, pizza.
Supreme food. Is that like a white person food? Is a burger? What is the whitest food, Gus?
Mayonnaise sandwich. That's what you all eat, right?
Actually, when I was in
Chicken fried
college,
steak.
with Matt, he ate one of the grossest things on a regular basis that I could ever imagine. I don't like tomatoes. He would eat a tomato sandwich. It was just a white bread, a slice of tomato with mayonnaise and pepper on it, and that was his sandwich.
That
sounds
is what
good.
that is
mayonnaise
what
is
horrifying.
I
Yeah.
had that once on a flight. I think out of England.
Yeah,
Oh
you
no,
probably
it was in
you probably had-
Australia.
You probably had cheese and tomato.
There was cheese and tomato.
Yeah, that's a common sandwich. That's some good stuff.
He also puts cheese on apple pie.
Okay.
Something's wrong with that, right?
the hell's wrong with
There's
that?
a lot of people. There's a lot of regions in the country where that's actually a thing, but if Hullum's doing it, it's sickness.
I feel like they pair well together. It's like you get a little cheese and you get something sweet, but
Yeah.
you're not supposed to. And then
When I
It
was
melted on there.
Ugh.
Little piece of cheddar cheese.
It's like
when I was a
nacho
kid-
pie.
When I was a kid, I used to get sometimes in my packed lunch, I'd get a cheese and tomato sandwich, but my mum would leave the tomatoes whole for me to cut up at school and put in the sandwich because she knew I didn't like wet bread.
really.
Aw.
That's really sweet. Did she put a knife in there too so you could stab the other kids?
What a weird
See,
comment.
we went to very different schools. If there was a knife at the school I went to, all bets were off.
Did you ever post that video when we took a plane ride to Sweden? And Gavin convinced me, I think I got a cheese and tomato sandwich on the plane. And it was about, it was like a small submarine sized sandwich.
try
So
and
about
find
that
it.
big. And he convinced me to eat the entire thing in one bite. And like literally put the whole thing in
Holy
my mouth.
crap.
I almost died. I almost choked. And JD was like
JD
5. He's like right there. Because we were taking JD to visit Notch for Minecraft.
I'm going to try and find that video.
And I'm just like hacking, like trying to get this thing down.
What month of 2010 was that?
That would have been, I can tell you exactly when that was. That was July of 2011.
2011 it was?
What do you do when you start choking on food? I choke on food
die?
probably once or twice a month.
Do you find you choke on the same foods? Like if I say, what's a food you eat that you will always choke on? Is there a food?
It's normally like bready type food, probably like a hamburger.
What do you mean bready? Just bread.
Like there's bread on
Okay, gotcha.
the food.
Food with bread in it.
Sandwiches.
bread like food.
Sandwiches.
It's in the bread milieu of food.
What do you do though?
Mine is seaweed.
When I'm eating with a
Seaweed wrapped
pitchfork.
sushi, I will choke on that every time I fucking eat it. Every time it rolls with the seaweed, right? It's like half of it goes down my throat and the other half is like holding on for dear life
What do
up
you-
by the tongue.
What do you do?
I go like that. And so that's what I first I have the horrible feeling of panic.
Yeah.
And then I like kind of hork it back up, but I'm in a sushi place, so it's nice. So it's like, yeah, exactly. Like a seagull.
Whenever that happens, I've lost that fear. I used to get that all the time where I'd be like, like freaking out. And now I'm just like, and I look for the closest drink. And sometimes I have to run into my kitchen and I drink it down and then it goes down like immediately. It's really weird.
So you get bread stuck in your throat.
Yes, I think I'm going to die someday from choking on food. I think that's the way that I'll go.
Maybe you're getting immune to it. The
Do
more
we
you
not have
choke
an
on it.
Apple TV today?
Yeah, it's right there. Or you make sure you're on the right network.
What network is it on?
It's on if you connect to not the guest one, but the other one. It should be there.
really
So it was so nice. So I was going out to Sweden to visit Notch, and I invited young Gavin Free because he lived in London. I said, hey, why don't I meet you in London? We'll fly with us. We'll go out there.
London.
Oh, I don't have it. I had to switch because of that email.
I'll show it to you.
It's a lot of effort to find this video.
So there it is. I typed it down there at the
Yeah,
bottom.
yeah.
So I
What-
do want to mention our final person from the feed. Our winner is Jenny Smiley Face at Square Moms.
That's not a real name.
It's like a little C and a colon. Jenny.
I want to change my name to an emoji, like legally change to that.
I-
Can
I-
you-
Like
can you
Prince,
do that?
but with a pile of poo.
Just like this emoji. That one. That's what I would change to.
I do also want to mention that apparently the an RT watch party, RT California, got the pizza this week. So
Hey.
congrats to you guys.
Who got?
and
Wait,
a
who
photo?
got it?
There they are.
Look at those.
RT California.
Oh man, that's nice. They're having a
They
good
were
time.
wearing a podcast shirt. So yeah, congratulations, guys.
I think I've met one of those people.
And
Is
also,
that a Funhouse poster behind them? What was that?
They'll live. And also wanted to mention the arcade that we had Galaga. Now that we've mentioned, there it is. Now that we've mentioned the winner, I can say that. Oh, do you want to answer the question?
I'm going to say that
Galaga was a sequel to-
Galaga was the sequel to the game Galaxian.
That is correct.
Look
Not
at
many people know that. And I think, in fact, I might be playing Galaga. No, I'm not playing Galaga in that one. I think
Yeah.
Jeremy's playing Galaga in that
really?
picture. Yeah, so not many people know that. And in fact, I think that they released a sequel to Galaga that was called Galaxian 3, but it confused people because people by that point knew the series as Galaga.
Right. They just released Galaga for the Xbox One as well.
Do you want to see this video?
Which is weird because they used to release arcade games in huge bundles, and now on the Xbox One, they're going back and doing them like one at a time. Like right now, you can buy Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Dig Dug, and Galaga. And they each have like 1,000 points
Damn.
for achievements.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. But some of the Galaga stuff's like outrageous. You have to get to like stage 30 and get perfect on that challenging stage. Like,
Boof.
I'm not doing that.
Oh,
I
no.
haven't done that in like 40 years. I'm not going to do it now.
So do we have that? Oh, you disconnected. I was about to throw it away.
No, I got it. It's right here.
disappeared. All right, we got that video of Burnie eating the whole sandwich.
You see
Go for
JD,
it.
little JD, like in the side window there.
Does the chicken Caesar salad challenge.
We were jackass there.
Sub.
Poor JD.
Oh my god, that sandwich is way bigger than I thought it was.
I think the bet was 2 bites. So that's 1 bite.
Oh my god.
You can half of it in one bite.
No, yeah.
So I gotta do that whole thing in 1 bite later.
I can't believe you agreed to do this. This seems like
that face.
and I can't believe you're going back for the second bite so quickly. You still have so much in your mouth.
Oh no, I'm gonna die here. This is me in the process of dying right now.
We're at like 35,000 feet.
So was a tomato sandwich? Tomato and cheese?
No, it's chicken Caesar salad.
Yeah,
which
chicken
I would
Caesar salad.
never order. That must be
That's-
like the only thing to get.
That's pretty much it.
All right.
Yeah. And after that, we went to Sweden and had a lovely time.
Yeah,
We
and
ate ice
based on
cream
that
cones.
video, we figured out the pricing of Sweden based on sandwiches.
Yeah, JD was awesome on that trip because we landed at the airport and he was hungry, so we bought him a sandwich. And the sandwich, do you remember how much it was, Gav?
I want to say 60.
67, right? 67
Kroner?
kroner? Like right there.
Yeah.
And so that was our basis for how much a kroner was worth. We based it on that sandwich.
It's like
so like dinner was
Yeah.
dinner at a nice restaurant was 3 sandwiches.
Yeah,
so that's
and
like
a
that
cab
seemed
was
appropriate.
like two sandwiches and a half
So
or something.
today, 67 kroner is 822.
There you go. That's an airport sandwich.
Yeah,
822.
definitely.
So
That's
let's
not
see if
bad.
I can pull historical data. Here.
Gus, there's a story that I want to send
Holy
to you.
crap! It's very different. Sorry, go
Than
ahead.
it was before.
What is it now?
I mean, look at the chart. You went there, and now it's here.
So is it worth less or more?
It looks like less.
Dollar's doing well, man. Dollar's doing real well. We go to Australia, pretty regularly over the last 10 years, and it's like now it's like the dollar in Australia is like badass. I remember when the dollar even in Canada was like for a while was like garbage, but now it's all like
Yeah, I have a
dollar's
book.
back, baby.
I have a book about the Niagara Falls, and it was 20 US and 30 Canadian.
20 US and 30 Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And I was like, I must have been 12 when I bought that book.
Yeah. It was really
Book
weird.
sucked.
I saw, I went and watched a episode of The Walking Dead from season 1. Oh, man, I'm just such a big fan of that fucking show. I got to find somebody else at the company who's as big a fan of as Walking Dead besides Yvonne.
I'm one season behind.
So we can do
You don't
a
want to talk to Yvonne about it?
a binaural thing. Well, I would put Yvonne on a binaural podcast. She just wouldn't want to do it. That's not her thing.
No.
But and the binaural test that we're doing, that is essentially to replace spoiler casts because I just don't think there's enough of an audience for any individual topic.
Yeah.
But if we do a binaural one, it's at least interesting to people who don't watch the show. We got to get beyond spoiler culture. We got to get beyond it. And I've complained about spoilers on Twitter from Walking Dead, but at this point, we were actually recording for Game of Thrones in this restaurant, and I was absolutely convinced that somebody was going to tell us not to talk about Game of Thrones in public because
They can't do that.
They hadn't seen it. I know, but it's just like I just feel like we've reached that point now as a culture where it's like somebody made a great tweet today. They said, I'm watching Game of Thrones. Internet, you stop spoiling it." It's like, all right, fine. I won't even mention the name of the show. But I want you to read this article, Gus, that Hank Green tweeted. I think he retweeted about somebody. It was a really fascinating article about a cholera outbreak in Haiti. And there was a cholera outbreak a few centuries ago. I believe it was in London. And it's kind of like the gold standard for germ theory, where cholera was like wiping out the city. Not wiping it out, but like it was an epidemic. A lot of people were dying from it. And a guy basically mapped all the cases of mortality in the city, like knocking on doors and asking how many people in this house have cholera, how many people have died from cholera. And then he just basically made a heat map of the city and found it all centralized on one location. And he went to this place and there was a water pump, and that everybody around that water pump in those houses had the highest rate of mortality for cholera. And he found out that a woman whose child had died from cholera was putting like the dirty diapers or like throwing away the waste for it in this well. Oh. Yeah, and that's what caused the cholera outbreak in the city. So the cholera outbreak in Haiti, the UN has been there trying to fight this thing and like trying to get people for support, but they haven't really talked about the origin of it or anything. So somebody ran the same basic study. They did the exact same thing. They did the heat map, and the outbreak centers on the UN facility and their cesspool there. So they basically caused this massive outbreak in Haiti.
That's unbelievable.
It's an unbelievable article. It's an unbelievable article. Like it, and you can see why they just like don't want to tell anybody that. It's not why they showed up to begin with, but now it's like they're trying to raise awareness of this outbreak there. So you got to read this article. I'll send it to you. It was amazing.
He also tweeted that you shouldn't do unpaid internships.
Oh, is that it?
So what's that? That's the Haiti outbreak, right? That's the hot zone one? Yeah. And then,
Interesting.
and they're comparing it there to the Broad Street pump cholera outbreak in 1854 London.
At the
That
bottom
map
right?
in the bottom right is like this famous map from like medical history.
That's really smart.
Yeah, and it was like, so they did the same thing. It's a really interesting article. And it's like epidemiology and all this kind of stuff that we love too.
Yeah.
So,
I love that.
and listen, if you're going to correct me on anything I just said, just Google it. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Just fucking Google it.
Yavin.
That's someone's going to tell me it's pronounced cholera, not cholera.
When I direct a Star Wars movie, I will have a little character that says Yavin in it.
And then everyone will laugh.
Yeah.
No, they'll be like, "It's canon now," and I'll be like,
Yeah, because it's the director who makes canon like that, not the writer.
yeah, you
No,
know.
I know someone's correcting me on there. I do know that you can buy the games in a bundle, but they're all separate games. You have to install them separately and everything. I was talking about like Game Room on the Xbox One, where you would just have one thing to go to play all your arcade games, or like the Atari pack, and you would
They had,
play
like,
all those
midway
things.
bundles
It seems
and
weird that they're
stuff like that.
unbundling retro games.
They probably
now.
get more
Make
per
more money
title
that
this
way.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see? This is totally unrelated to anything we're talking about. I was just thinking about this. I think it was last week. There was a video that came out of China where these rival construction companies started fighting in the street, and they had 6 bulldozers all attacking each other like demolition derby style.
That's fucking dope.
You didn't see that?
No.
Yeah, it's like in the middle of a street. It's like one construction company shows up and another one's doing the work, so they get mad, and then it's just like a demolition derby.
Where's this?
In China.
Were they shooting it? Was it a commercial?
No.
Do they have like sledgehammers and jackhammers and shit?
No, it was just the heavy equipment going at it.
That's like, it's like Transformers.
You need David Attenborough narrating this.
Somewhere in northern China.
Holy shit! Oh,
Yeah,
flip it!
Oh, do it. Oh, what's it cut off for?
I think they're trying to get to the good part. But yeah, he
That was
flips
the
it.
part.
Dude, I
These
love that
cars-
people are still driving down the road.
You gotta
The
get where you're
strongest
going.
bulldozer will get the female.
Gavin, your voice is perfect for that. Please keep going.
But can you?
I'll feed you lines, Gavin. Say, it's mating season. For the front loading.
This one needs an oil change.
In fact, one of them does get flipped over, and you see like the dude get out of it and like run down the street, and he goes and like starts pounding on the door of another one to like get in. I guess it's like his friend in the other one.
One-on-one.
It seems like a viral video for Titanfall 2.
It's Titanfall 0.5.
The pilot gets out and somehow still
Ejects.
manages to beat the front end loader that somebody else is driving. That's something I could never stand about that
Oh,
game. Is
no.
in a way I could never
That could have
stand
been
the
murder.
balance in Titanfall
it's
that
cool.
the pilots would be as good as the Titans in some scenarios.
There's like 4 of them now. There's 5. I see one in the back.
I told you there were 6. Here comes the other one.
That's so cool.
He's like trying to save his friend.
Oh,
buddy,
he's saving him.
buddy.
I got you, bud.
Oh, he's lifting him up.
Dropped it.
Oh, look, he is a pilot. He's getting in there. He's going to take him out of the
Hijacked.
cockpit.
No, that was his friend. I think.
Oh, okay.
So
You don't know.
that's-
You don't know how that ended.
That is awesome. I bet they've always wanted to do that. I bet they weren't even
I've
that
always
mad at
wanted
each
to do that. I've never driven one of those in my
other.
life.
Imagine how much it would hurt though, like swinging your thing around, like you'd be like, ah.
We used to talk about this back at the call center about how and we've never done this. We said one day we wanted to rent Bobcats
Yes.
and have Bobcat wars.
I also wanted to own a tow truck and tow trucks. People to this day send me photos of tow trucks towing tow trucks, going, Bernie, somebody's living the dream. Once I get a tow truck and night vision goggles, I'm done. You know I'm done. I've reached all my life goals at
If
that point.
6 tow trucks are towing each other, which one's in front?
The one that's in front.
The one in front. That's a stupid question.
What a dumb question. Gus, if 1,000
Do you know
people,
how a tow truck
Gus, if
works?
1,000 people are in line, who's in the front of the line?
The front
3.
one's being towed by the back one.
If they're towing in a circle? You didn't say that. You left that fucking part out,
So
didn't
they were
you?
towing each other.
What? If 6 tow trucks are towing each other, why would we assume a circle? God, you're fucking
Because what
lunatic.
would it be, a triangle? How else would they tow each
You
other?
just need to understand nobody's brain works the way you're a very smart person, but nobody's brain works the way yours works. We're not going to make the conclusion on our own that the tow trucks are in a fucking circle.
We did it at GTA 5. That might be why.
Oh, I see.
And then the other bit of weird news I saw, a bit of news about Austin made the front page of Reddit a couple days ago. I don't know if you saw this, but I guess there's Robert E. Lee Elementary in Austin.
Yeah. I saw this.
And there's a movement that people want to rename it. So I guess there was a call to the public to suggest new
poll.
names for the school.
Yeah.
And some
Schoolie
of the
McSchoolface?
top vote getters were Donald J. Trump Elementary, the Adolf Hitler School for Friendship and Tolerance,
Can't have nice things.
Drew Brees Elementary, Bruce Lee Elementary, John Cena Elementary School, and Schoolie McSchoolface.
Oh, it was on there?
It was on there.
I was just making a joke.
It's like, what do you expect? What do you expect from people?
Oh, God. Yeah, they didn't let Boaty McBoatface go through.
Yeah.
I was pretty sad about that.
I feel like that now you're going to see that everywhere now. Everybody's going to want to
Something
have
McSomething
something.
face.
Yep. Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
it was an
with
airline.
Aer Lingus?
Yeah.
Aer Lingus.
I want to have a kid named
Sounds
Kid
like a-
McKidface.
Sex acty dude playing.
That's the name of the national airline of Ireland, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the American Airlines.
Not very well traveled.
Sounds
are
like
you, buddy?
cunnilingus in the air.
Cunnilingus.
Cunnilingus.
What's
Is
cunnilingus? Is that when you breathe on someone's
so foreign to
vagina?
Blaine, he doesn't know the word.
What's the word?
Cunnilingus.
There
What did he say?
Cunnilingus.
What's the
Cunnilingus.
Yavin.
He's licking an Angus
what's
cow.
the knob version?
Huh?
What's the knob version?
What do you mean? Oh, we're blowjob. I don't know.
Can I tell you one of my favorite moments of The Amazing Race was when we had to put on those gold, tiny little bikinis, and Dana of the dancers team, her top was just like didn't fit, And I don't know why she asked Corey of Tyler and Corey to help her like adjust her top. And Corey got back there. He's like, I don't know. I've never touched one of these in my life. And he adjusted it like so that she like completely fell out of her top.
Oh, God.
Because he had never dealt with a bra before in any way. It was like such a funny moment, but like not something that you can show on TV. She's like holding it going, what are you doing back there?
They definitely showed her uncomfortable with the top, but yeah, they didn't show that particular
No,
moment.
I mean, I got to say in that regard, I mean, it is a very family-friendly show, so I never had any concerns. Like, I might have had a wardrobe malfunction during that process when we came running out of there.
Did you?
I maybe a little bit.
Did your testy come out?
No, it's just a little
Nope.
bit of flash though. Some stuff came like
You scrote?
stuff was in places where stuff shouldn't be. Yeah. So
Who was that girl that got banned from Twitch for revealing her vagina?
I don't know.
I haven't heard that story.
The one who was talking about like cancer kids recently.
She did what? Is she back with something new?
Yeah,
now?
I think her vagina fell out, and then they banned her from Twitch.
All right, I'm gonna look this up.
For research.
What girl?
Have you ever
vagina
had your
fell
junk
out
fall
on
out,
Twitch?
Gavin?
No.
Blaine, have you ever had your
If I'm
junk fall
sat
out?
there,
Yeah.
You have? What happened?
I was going to work out, and I have like these really small.
I got the right link just by typing that in. It's called a vag slip. All right, go ahead.
I actually had when I went to the
a pink
academy,
slip.
I like shorts that are shorter because I like showing off my thighs and stuff. And you know, basketball shorts are too long, so I get women's Sophie shirts in large because you know they look just like dude shorts, but they're just shorter. Well, anyways, one time I wasn't wearing sliders; I was wearing like boxers.
You weren't wearing sliders? What does that mean?
Sliders are athletic shorts.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was just sitting there. It felt kind of cool. I looked down. There's a nard hanging out. And I was
Oh,
like,
my God.
Oh fuck! So yeah, I slipped ball once.
Did it touch like the gym equipment?
No, I think it was like it was somewhere else. I was like getting a drink with somebody
Oh, okay.
after or something, and just ball hanging out in public.
I mean, I've fallen out of boxes before in the privacy of my own home.
But like
sometimes-
that's different. Like
Yeah.
versus like being
Like
out.
sometimes for some reason, either I readjust or I just put a pair of really old boxes on. But sometimes I come completely through the flap to the point where like just my penis and no balls have come through the flap on my boxes.
I think my parents accidentally bought me like sexual boxers by accident once. They were like,
What does
Mr.
that mean?
Well, they were Mr. Potato Head boxers, and I didn't realize until like one day that I stuck my dick through the slat that it made Mr. Potato Head's nose, and I was like, oh, and then I just went like, hey, so
And then from that day forward, like that's the only way you wore.
That sounds awesome.
it was pretty funny.
They should make more like nose characters where the nose is your penis
Like
for your
we
boxes.
we should do it for you,
I mean,
Rooster Teeth.
I could
The
see that.
nose thing.
yeah.
You know what?
Gavin rejects
got
the
it, I
suggestion
got it.
immediately.
You know what? I do want to say I'm sorry because people make fun of your nose all the time. It never really strikes me. So yeah, that was rude of me to say that.
That's fine.
When I used to listen to the podcast, I'd be like, "Oh, still leave him alone."
I mean, it doesn't
Yeah,
affect.
Gavin,
doesn't
you were
affect me.
correct. I don't know if it's that same person, but she has a Canadian flag in the background, and she
Are you watching her accidents?
She has a wardrobe malfunction. It's a pretty. Well, I'll send you the link. You can see it later if you'd like to. It's
Do you actually see like lab and stuff?
It's just it's no big deal. It's just like a little like she stands up and like steps over something and
Enough to get banned for?
Oh, I don't know if she got banned or anything like that, but it was
Was it intentional?
No, that's
I know
why
nothing about this.
that's what one of those things. It's like if you're on camera, shit can go wrong.
Yeah.
It's like that's gonna happen. It didn't look intentional or anything. That's why it's like I now regret having seen that video, and I don't think that I should like share it with anybody
Oh,
else
yeah.
because it's like we all make mistakes. Like shit goes wrong, or like when somebody's photos get leaked or hacked and then released. It's just like that was a private thing they did. They're not posting that shit.
saw-
you know.
No, I don't want to see it. Thank you.
Yeah, but if
The,
you're Twitch streaming.
I get she's Twitch streaming, but you can also have fuck ups in public. You recently, can I say about a thing you posted recently? Like you were concerned about getting caught like with your finger in your nose in public, like that kind of thing. It's like,
Oh, because someone took a picture of me from a bus or something?
yeah, you had a picture taken of you when you were out and about, and that you were like, look at this, I could have been picking my nose. It's like, but you're in public. A lot of people would say you're in public, that you're fair game to be.
Yeah, it's true.
photographed.
It was just weird that it was tweeted to me.
It's very weird.
It's
You
like-
had the weirdest thing ever, which is you were surfing your phone at the airport, and when you got to the top of your Twitter feed, you saw a picture of yourself standing there surfing your phone.
I was like, am I
And he,
looking at a live
looked-
feed?
He looked up, and the person's right over there.
You know, Barbara and Aaron did that to one of the guys from Kramer, or not Kramer. Raymond. Everybody loves Raymond? Yeah? I can't remember what his
Everybody
name
loves
is.
Kramer.
It's a
That's
great
my
story so
favorite
far,
show.
though.
No, like they did that. They tweeted a picture of the guy, Costanza? George Costanza?
Jason Alexander.
Yeah.
From Everybody Loves Raymond? Okay, tell the rest of the story. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's the bald comedian that is whatever.
From Seinfeld.
Seinfeld, that's the one.
Okay, great.
Aren't they like spin-offs of each other?
Yep,
Anyways.
absolutely. They all came from All in the Family.
I'm just like, everybody's really mad at me right now.
I used to think
Anyways,
Miles
he
was
was
the
in
worst
the
at
airport.
this.
They took a picture of him doing the exact same thing. He was on his phone, and then they tweeted it out.
Why was he annoyed?
I don't know. I'm just saying it's like
I would not fuck with Jason Alexander. It's
weird.
He seems like a nice guy, but it also seems like a guy. It's like you get on his bad side, and he can fucking.
I saw too much George Costanza.
Yeah, it's like he's volatile, short fuse, right?
Yeah, I've seen too much of that.
Can't believe that Jason Alexander never won an Emmy for playing George Costanza.
You would always lose out to Michael Richards.
Michael Richards. No, he would lose out to the
and
guy who plays Niles on
Yeah,
Frasier.
he would lose to him as well.
Yeah, all the time it seems like. But Michael Richards.
Michael Richards won a few times.
Did he really? Mm-hmm. God, George Costanza to me is one of the best characters to ever be on television. And the fact that, Jason Alexander never won for playing that part.
The interaction between him and his parents still makes me laugh.
Yep.
Anytime I watch one of those episodes and it's him having to deal with his parents, it's just, for some reason, there's just
everything. Him and Elaine,
crazy humor.
Him and Jerry, like all the interactions were so great with him.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his girlfriends, they were so great. I love it.
I know some of those names.
So we, there was one thing
Is it really Seinfeld is fuck off.
the thing that spun off into Everybody
his
Loves
wallet.
Raymond. Is anybody else hearing like crazy bass? What the fuck is
crazy
going on
bass.
over there?
Hey, what is the deal with the tech guys parking in the grass behind the building now? Did they just start doing that and thinking like nobody's going to notice? We all drive.
Did you
past
buy
there.
that tow truck?
No, I didn't.
You could put it to use if you got one.
So who does that? Who comes to a studio and plays ridiculously loud bass? Soundtrack is soundproof though,
Not always. All right, they got people outside.
and they're fucking playing bass. What a bunch of dumbasses on a fucking movie lot. Fucking dumbasses. I mean, just so fucking stupid.
Is it just someone in a car though? Sounds like it's closer than soundcheck.
He said there's someone outside in the parking lot.
Tell them to shut up.
Can they be quiet?
I can.
Oh,
you want
they
to watch me do
They
it?
stopped.
I'll open those bay doors and they'd stop now. So
So speaking of the tech office, we did have a weird issue at PAX East where we run our point of sale off of the iPad, right? And one of the iPads just didn't work. Like it behaved like it didn't have any wireless functionality.
Yeah.
Like the button to turn on and turn off wireless was just grayed out and disabled.
To turn on wireless?
Right. To turn on the Wi-Fi. So like I tried to software update it, it didn't work. I tried to factory restore it. But to factory restore it, you have to turn off Find My iPad. To turn off Find My iPad, I needed to agree to new terms and services.
Apple sucks.
To agree to the terms and services, I needed to download them.
Apple
but I
sucks.
couldn't download them because I didn't have fucking Wi-Fi.
Let me tell you, I had an iPad where the
so
Wi-Fi
bad.
went out on it. An iPad with no Wi-Fi is just a nothing.
It's
just-
nothing.
It's a screen that you can charge.
It is
at that point, and that's all it is.
Utterly worthless.
It's worthless.
I tweeted this recently because I was on the plane to San Francisco, bored. Obviously, I'm on a plane. So I was like, I used to play iPhone games, and I just started like loading up my old favorite games. All of them need internet connections now.
Yeah.
None of them work without internet. Like Angry Birds and Trials Frontier, all the games I used to play, need even if it's got an old update, you can't play it. You can't just play the old version. It would just be like, no, you're not going to do this.
When that bass was going off, did anybody else get like flashbacks from Jumanji? Or is that just me? You know?
No, I got a flashback from Everybody Loves Raymond.
I got one from.
I don't know these. You know, it's whatever, man.
I'm sorry, Seinfeld.
Are they spin-offs of each other?
Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think
We had a cool announcement at the panel, which I'm super excited about. You mentioned for the first time that we are in the process of developing a card game based on $1 Million. But
when I mentioned that, I hadn't realized that we hadn't said anything about it yet.
everyone is super excited about that. Everyone here is like, that was just an idea that came up, and then the game development group jumped on it, and then everyone else got excited about it, and it was like this small team of people all working on it, like nonstop. And it's like we're in the process of developing it, and it's like we're really super excited about it. I'm excited about it because I think that is something that potentially, I've always wanted to go back and do a crowdfunding thing because I had so much fun with Laser Team, but we're already making movies and features and stuff like that. We've never made a card game before. So, and this is like, if you look at like crowdfunding, there is a huge culture around board games and everything else like that. So it's like, it wouldn't be the same thing if we did it. It would be more just like, this is just a release for it, essentially. Like it's something that we could produce, I'm hoping by the middle of the summer and get it out the door. So I don't know, I'm super excited about it. I'd love to do
I'm
it.
excited for fans to play with other fans.
Oh, it's going to be so cool. I hope we can get it done. If we get it done for RTX and people are like playing it in lines and stuff, that would be so great.
I was surprised by how like easily it was to transition the show into a game.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, it felt like really like, oh yeah, just works. Like it's just a natural fit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we had that big spreadsheet that people could contribute, ideas to for the card game, and it was really cool to see that because it had a function where it would put together ideas like the way the card game worked to kind of present them to you, and I thought it was a really neat way to like test and see
If it was
how everything worked out, and if it was viable, and it was a lot of fun to read through that stuff.
Oh man.
Somebody was like, they're doing like mock-ups of like the way things might look in the back of the box and everything, and like the back of the box said, every time you sneeze, someone's turd appears randomly in your house.
That was yours.
I love that one. Some of the word turd in there just made me laugh. It just really, really
Yeah,
made
you
me
came
laugh.
up to me like, while we were shooting some the other day. You're like, you got any?
Dude, I
got
had
any that we
written-
didn't use? And I was like, well, let me pull out my document.
Yeah.
I had written like hundreds, and I was like, oh god. So yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm super excited about that because it's like one of those things that's like, hey, that'd be pretty neat. And then we tried it out. Like the gaming guys were able to do like a little prototype of it, and then we loved it. We did like some play tests, everything like that. So it's like I think we're moving ahead with it. It's gonna be really, really cool.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, well, I think we should wrap up.
All right.
'Cause apparently there's a drum
Let
and
me think
bass
about anything
party
else.
outside.
Gavin,
It's now not like a beat. It's just boom.
Yep.
So
Jumanji.
one of the things I want to talk about, which we haven't talked about yet, is the iPhone 2 cameras. You want to talk about that in the post show?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
All right, because I want to make Gus mad about the new iPhone spec that's been released.
It's not been.
Oh, can I see?
Okay, thanks for watching, everybody.
Here we go. Here we go.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Love ya.
Super energetic now.
Okay.